I only ate bricks for 7 days.
Hi, Cody. Hypothetically, if I took like my daily meal and then like put it all into a blender and then blended it up into a brick and then ate that brick for a week straight, would I survive?
So diet maxing, we're food efficiency maxing now. We're just going to blend everything we eat in a day and then only eat that. I mean, nutritionally, that would be perfectly fine, right? Who did that? Don't we know somebody that did that? I feel like there's a streamer that I know that tried to like diet max and ate like food blocks for like a week. And that's just gross to fucking, dude, because what meal could you blend up into a brick with like water and it not be gross? I think you could do a brick of like protein powder and like fruits, and you could make something like a meatloafy brick that would be okay. But any regular meal, you're not blending up and that being good. Hamburger, well, now you're just saying already ground beef. Protein powder, fuck you, I stuttered.
And probably
I'm gonna die at 23. What would be the best one meal to blend? Like a chicken Caesar salad, maybe? No. I feel like a full meal of, if you blended like eggs, a meat, fruit and vegetables, and water, you would be fine. But you would, I don't think any combination of those things would be at all appetizing.
Eating is way too complicated. Imagine a world where everyone just ate one thing. No more thinking of meal prep, no more doing dishes or cooking. Now imagine bricks. Imagine if everyone just ate bricks instead of food. I'm imagining it right now. It feels so good. I'm getting so bricked up. For the next 7 days, I'm gonna be eating only bricks of food. But what do I put inside of that brick exactly? Well, how about I ask my...
That is fucking... I'm going to ask ChatGPT. Hello, ChatGPT. I am diet maxing, and I would like to get all of my needed nutrition in a day in one brick of food, but I also don't want it to taste like poop. Any Rex? Question mark. Love the ambition. That's some next level biohacker / efficiency core energy right there. Crying emoji. If you're trying to get all your nutrition in one brick of food, basically a complete meal compression into a bar, you have a few good paths depending on your goals. Here's a breakdown. You can do the Huel Complete Nutrition Bar, good macros. Dude, they're just recommending fucking Soylent. Jimmy Joy Plenty Bar, Soylent squared in meal squares. Bro, if you want to make it yourself, here's a great formula. You need 150 grams of oats, 80 to 100 grams of whey isolate, 50 grams of peanut butter and flaxseed, multivitamin powder, honey, cocoa powder, vanilla, and cinnamon. That actually doesn't sound that bad. I don't think that's going to give you all of your nutrition in a day, though. Like, after a week, you would start having, like, fucking deficiencies in vitamins.
My best friend roommate who's studying to be a doctor.
there's something called like the perfect plate.
Are you FaceTiming someone right now?
Yeah.
Is this like...
Can I blend 4 cheeseburgers down? That's not even funny. I'm imagining the kid that typed that. All I eat is fucking cheeseburgers. Am I able to just like blend that into a... I think that would be pretty good.
Science, or is this like
This is like science. This is Canadian government website.
Damn. That place got me... That plate has got me bricked up.
Bro. Like the vacuum going in the back.
Following this conversation, I genuinely did about like 3 days worth of research to come up with the following recipe. For carbs, we have 9 cups of oats, 14 sweet potatoes, and 4 cups of whole wheat flour. For protein, we have 2 kilograms of tofu, 28 eggs. Yes, this genuinely took me
28 eggs and 2 kilograms of fucking tofu.
3 days to come up with, and 1 cup of chia seeds. For fats, we have 3 avocados, 2 cups of walnuts, half a cup of olive oil, and for just about everything else,
I think the avocados are currently ruining this. I think the avocados are throwing off the vibes. Even though I do like avocado, I think that's ruining
14 cups of
ruining this.
spinach, 7 carrots, lots of salt, and 7 teaspoons of spirulina. I'm gonna blend this all in with about 16 ounces of almond milk, and if you want to know what the procedure looks like, it's just, you just gotta do a little...
looks like a...
Oh, dude, it being green is really off-putting. This looks like a bear vomited salmon. It being green is gross. What color? I would probably put food dye in it. What color would make it most appealing? Honestly, I feel like a brown would be like a chocolate brown. It would look more like poop, but I feel like that would get it out of my brain.
Bear vomited salmon.
Wait till I add the 28 eggs.
So
Oh no. Does he have to cook it?
I think from here it's like you have
Cody's currently explaining how the Epic of Gilgamesh directly led to the creation of anime.
Roman ideals formed out of the Greeks.
Right. On a completely unrelated note.
You're filming a YouTube video, your friend just shows up. So, you know, like Gilgamesh.
Do we have a mop bucket?
Oh my god, no, that is so much worse than I thought it would look. And he's putting it in a fucking recyclable bin. I hope it's unused. Dude.
I then put the blended slop into baking trays.
It kind of looks like Dubai chocolate.
And end up with 5
I think that, ooh, wait.
bricks, which is about 20,000.
Okay. Do I think it'll taste good? No. Does it look kind of like a good pistachio brownie? Yeah.
Calories to get me through the next 7 days. So without
Ooh.
further ado, let's
I think day 7, it's going to be really hard.
move on to... Okay, here's my daily brick. Let's just go.
He only has to eat 1 per day. If he only has to eat 1 per day, that is actual full-on fucking diet maxing. There's no way that's 2,000 calories plus.
Go for it. Let's. It tastes like just like someone took a normal meal and then pre-chewed it and then spat it into my mouth. The brick didn't
And you didn't gag?
taste too bad at first, but after about a meal and a half, I realized that no, it really does. It tastes like shit. I cannot
Oh no.
describe to you how much the flavor is reminiscent of vomit. So I tried
Oh. Like just a weird mix of, because vomit is like half digested food, but it's also basically just like blended food. Like it's just a weird mix of stuff that you've eaten over the last day. Do you think you would get used to it though? Like how many days of doing this would you just not care anymore? At some point, bro, like a week in, you would be like, this is better than eating regular food. Not better in the sense of enjoyable, but like you could be like, damn, I haven't eaten today. House the brick in 2 minutes. And then you're fucking good to go for the next 6 hours.
frying it up to see if that would make it taste better, and I'm censoring this because it quite genuinely looks
Oh, he cooked it?
like I shat into the pan. And no, it just tastes like the same thing, but hot. So now it's like fresh vomit, I guess. This made day 1 easily the hardest day of the challenge, and it gets easier later on, and you'll see how it gets easier on...
I feel like, do you think frozen would be better? Like a frozen brick of blended food? I don't know, maybe refrigerated, like on the brink of being frozen.
On day 2, I had a bite of the brick, and I thought, hell no, I can't do this. So I had 2 options here. I could either scrap the video altogether, or I could come up with some way to make this easier for me. Which is why at this point in the video, I allow myself 1 topping.
Dude, 1 topping, brother, sriracha. All over. Anything that tastes like fucking shit, make it really spicy, and it's immediately good. That is like the fucking life hack. You ever see like street food vendors that'll do that? You just make anything really fucking spicy. It's just so good. Maybe not the best thing you've ever had. It's tolerable.
For the rest of the challenge.
Mayonnaise. I think mayonnaise would bring this down. I don't think mayo's saving this brick.
But to decide which topping I would be using, I would have to go through some trial and error. So in front of me right now is my daily brick.
Pickles. I think Frank's Red Hot, pretty good. Soy sauce, all right. Vinegar, no.
Along with every condiment that I could find in my house. I'm gonna try them all, and I'm gonna rate them 1 to 10. 3, 3.5, 6, 5, 7.
Peanut butter was good. Chili oil's good.
3, 4, holy shit, 9.
Kimchi is good on the brick. I mean, there's a lot of tofu and egg.
7, 2, 3, 5, 2. That's a 9.
Hot sauce! Oh no, the kimchi one? Fuck. I was gonna say hot sauce was a 9. That's goated though.
2. That's a 9.
Hot sauce, bro, because hot sauce is the if you put hot sauce on something, it is the forefront flavor of the food you're eating. The rest is just texture. And if the texture isn't gross and all you're tasting is Frank's Red Hot, you're going, huh, this is pretty fucking good. Well, isn't kimchi also spicy at times?
Now, remember Cody from the beginning of this video? Yeah, it's also his birthday at the end of this week. So for the nights leading up to it, I thought I would do a good friend thing and I would make him some nice dinners. I'm probably gonna be frothing it.
Oh, he's gonna be. My friend Cody's actually pretty busy, so I'm gonna give him a slice of my food brick.
The mouth while making the food, but at least I can fatten up my roommate before I cook him into my evil stew. Bars.
Actually, though, the level of efficiency this gives to your life is insane. Imagine, I mean, a lot of you guys don't meal prep now because your parents might make you food and shit, but imagine you're like 25. You have to meal prep like 2-3 times a week, and you have to go to the grocery store and buy a bunch of different things for meals. And instead, you just one time a week get an industrial blender and mix all of the food that you're gonna eat in a week and just fucking stack it in your fridge. Like, how gross that is, but that would be, you would save so much time.
So for the first night, I decided to make Cody some. Wait, that's not dinner, silly. That's a
Pre-alcohol probiotic drink.
sponsor of today's video, Z-Biotics. Okay, I have to tell you about this
Maybe I should have known about that before I fucking drank 23 margaritas.
product that I use before a night with drinks. It's called
I think some of these products work, but the part of the problem is that a lot of the products that are like, hey, this will make you feel better when you're done drinking, then you just drink more. You know what I mean? Like, even if that's gonna settle your stomach or help, then you just drink more because now you feel better. Like, humans don't have limits. Humans at some point, like some people do, but there's like a level of being drunk where you just don't stop drinking until you fall asleep. Not everybody has that. A lot of people at bars, it's like you're so drunk you just keep saying yes to drinks. So if you're on something that's going to make that so you have even a higher of a limit, I feel like,
alcohol.
Okay, I know this is a sponsor, but I kind of want to hear this out.
Z-Biotics Pre-Alcohol Probiotic is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. Here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut.
This is such targeted advertising.
It's primarily this byproduct that is to blame for your rough next day. Now, pre-alcohol produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. Just remember to make pre-alcohol your first drink of the night and drink responsibly so you can wake up feeling better the next morning. Click the link
I don't know. You think that works? I've never tried one of those before.
Thanks again to Z-Biotics for sponsoring today's video. Cody's first dinner of the week was gochujang butter cabbage and steak. While I was making this, I'm pretty sure I came in my pants a little bit, but no biggie, we wiped that off. It was especially jarring seeing his
Okay, you know how shitty this is, though? You're making your friend such a nice dinner, and you're like, yeah, I'm just gonna eat my food brick.
food next to mine, considering that all I did for dinner was throw
Caramelized onions.
a chunk of leathery vomit onto a plate. Anywho, this is the first night of dinner for Cody. I hope he enjoys it.
Damn. How was the brick today?
So the brick itself, 1,000,000 times better than yesterday because I got the
Oh, yeah.
kimchi update. Gochujang butter, steak, and cabbage is what I made for you.
Oh, my cabbage is really good. It's a really good texture.
Oh, yeah, it's really good. Yeah, it's really good. You want to switch plates? You want to bite of the poop brick? You want to eat some of the poop brick? It's got tofu and eggs in it. It's got everything your body needs.
Now, this wouldn't be a Kodakai video if I didn't drastically change my sleep schedule in some way, so let's flash forward to the morning of...
This is me, wide awake at 6:30 a.m.
So I went to sleep at like 7 a.m. and I ended up waking up in like the late afternoon. I bought more kimchi, I ate more brick, and sooner than later it was time for dinner. Cody
I hope he talks about what his poop consistency is like. I would venture to say that it's probably either really good or really bad. I think it would be like solid because he is getting everything he needs, but I bet it would be kind of liquidy.
mentioned Manze soap.
Like, yeah, like, no, not rock hard. I bet it would be like he has diarrhea.
A couple times during the day, so I did my best to make some with what we had in the apartment. I ejaculated in my pants again, I garnished it with an egg yolk, and yeah, that's the, yeah.
I already ate, so I'm just having a little bit of brick.
Oh, this looks really good.
Have a serious conversation with me while I take a bite of this brick.
How much of a person would you have to eat in order to be considered a cannibal?
Ooh. Ooh, good question. I would say it's less the amount and more the intent. Is that fair to say? Because if you accidentally ate like the fingertip of a person, don't ask how you would ever be in that scenario. But let's say you know a guy named Eric Cartman and he makes you chili for a chili competition and you eat it. Are you now a cannibal? No. Or like an unwilling? I don't know. If I'm just going off the amount alone, I'm going like more than a finger. Like if you ate that, you're not a cannibal. Like a digestible amount of food. Like if you ate, because at that point, are you a cannibal for eating like your hangnails? I don't do that. I'll bite my hangnail, spit it out, but like there's people that eat like their fingernails. Are they cannibals? No.
Because you can like eat 3 people.
Well, but then like, slips down the stairs. Human bone, legally.
They're a cannibal. You have all sorts of...
I love how he left in like random bits of the conversation and just full skipped everything else. Well, legally, hard cut.
The second person, 2 kilograms of their friend. They're on rafts.
Because I bite my nails like I've kissed a guy. Probably a cannibal.
Dicks do you have to suck? I just drink it when it's available.
Taste it as I go. 2 dicks.
Drink 4 in one evening. RFK is going after Tylenol now.
Everyone comment down below how much human you need to eat before you're considered a cannibal.
I want to see the answers. Nobody gave an answer. Are you fucking kidding me? No one answered. They're all talking about the fucking video itself.
Hi subreddit.
This is all of the brick that is left in the fridge. This is all I need to eat before everything is done. Ignore the fact that one of them is sitting on a frozen pizza.
They all look really different. Like this brick looks more appetizing than this one. This one has chunks of food in it. And what do you think that chunk is? I hope like tofu maybe, or like part of the egg.
Fun fact, when you eat healthy food, you end up feeling healthy. I felt better this week than I have all year. Workouts have been easier, running has been easier, I've been feeling focused, there's been like a strange level of clarity. I felt so good, in fact, that me and Cody went to a J-Rock concert that night. And this concert went pretty late, there wasn't a lot of time to make dinner, so Cody instead opted to just eat a bag of popcorn. The energy from the concert also seems to have given me this weird, radical idea. I wanted to see how quickly I could eat my nightly brick without vomiting.
Oh, he's gonna speed run it like a hot dog.
So here's that.
3, 2, 1, start.
Ooh, it's a lot softer than I thought it would be.
Oh, is Oh, I'll let you stop the timer when you're done. Minute 36 and...
A minute 36. Dude, that is food maxing to the fucking limit. An entire nightly meal, that was probably like fucking 600 calories down in a minute.
50 milliseconds. That's pretty good. We'll finish off this popcorn.
Can I smell the bag?
I'm a mess.
Oh, bro, huffing that shit like fucking gasoline.
Holy shit.
Lead paint. What is the best smelling food? Bacon's top 5. Bacon's top 5. I would say that something like that's really I'm gonna go garlic. Garlic when you're hungry. Lingering garlic is disgusting, but like a good like caramelized onion or garlic that's like on a skillet, oh, that's fucking goated. Popcorn smells good. Yeah, like a buttered popcorn's pretty good. Cookies, yeah, like fresh baked goods, or like a nice pizza. There's so many good foods that smell fucking amazing. Cinnabon smells nice. Cinnabon also kind of smells like you're walking through chemicals. Like if I had to work at Cinnabon for a day, I feel like I'd throw up.
I had enough sleep debt to warrant me sleeping until 5 p.m. apparently, so when I woke up, it was immediately time for dinner. For tonight's dinner, I decided that I should probably just use everything that was about to go bad in the fridge, so I ended up making something that I like to call Kodakai's Mountain of Slop. Fun fact, that's also the name of my pants after I just drenched them in semen.
How well after an expiration date are you eating like a meat if it's frozen? I've gone months if it's frozen. I don't know if there's like a guide on that. If I froze food before expiration date, how long is it good for? Indefinitely good? Huh. Really? So if I threw chicken in the freezer and left it for a year, I could eat it. No. I think the quality, it might be safe, but the quality would go down. Oh, it says recommended meat and poultry 3 to 4 months. I was gonna say, I've eaten like, he was saying it was about to go bad, just toss it in the freezer. I like, the second I go grocery shopping, I just throw shit in the freezer. Leave it for a month, no problem.
I think this would taste better if I couldn't see your video.
I don't want to do this anymore.
Like you made, that is the concept of dog food.
I've made human dog food.
I'm surprised he didn't switch from kimchi, because I feel like the kimchi would get pretty disgusting too after like 5 straight days of just eating kimchi every day.
Maybe it'd taste better if I made them into like little kibble bites.
Pour them into ice cube trays.
Oh, oh, oh! What was that? He just leaves the room.
On day 6, I had a bunch of errands to run, so for the first time, I packed my brick to go. I imagine eating this in public is something like shitting yourself on the bus because, like,
I don't know. I would think that if somebody whipped that out in public, I would think that it's some fucking protein bar.
everyone can smell it. You just gotta lock in and pretend nothing happened. One of my
It smells that bad.
errands involved picking up Callum from the airport because as
I think ripping ass in a packed, like, subway is probably one of the safest ways to fart. It's disrespectful, but nobody's gonna pin it on you. Like, if you're just ripping ass in a fucking subway, like, you're gonna be like, yeah, it's somebody within my fucking 5-person vicinity.
I've mentioned, it's Cody's birthday. Callum came to celebrate Cody's birthday. And speaking of coming,
Bars, too. I've done a drive-by fart before.
I made IKEA meatballs for dinner with a special creamy sauce. I also made a cocktail for Callum, and now we have a full penis worth of food to go through. I wonder how Callum's gonna react to the brick.
That is, you know, I saw pictures of that. Oh, you know what this looks like? You know those, like, channels on TikTok and Instagram that are like, I keep adding stuff to this tub until I create life. That's what this looks like.
Wait till you see.
They just fucking, like, when they're trying to do those, like, creating alien life videos.
The video on how I made it. You see that blue recycling bin?
That's not a good start. Is this a recipe you made yourself? Mm-hmm. Don't say it like you're proud.
I can read you the recipe really quick. So it's 9 cups of oats, 14 sweet potatoes, 2 kilograms of tofu.
I feel like that's not bad if it stopped there. Because sweet potatoes is, like, gonna add some mild sweetness. The tofu is, like, nothing.
28 eggs.
Do you plan to sell this commercially? Mr. Beep, I have an idea.
Mr. Beast food maxing bars. Dude, Feastables would sell that shit like crazy. They would just dump like 8 fucking kilograms of sugar into it.
And now day 7, this is it.
You only need to eat this.
War is over. I plan Cody's
If you just eat this, then everything, dude, oh my God, you want to see one of the craziest marketing things that I've ever seen in my entire life? This is so off topic. But if Mr. Beast or any company ever did that, that is like pure monopoly. If you marketed something as like, hey, you only ever need to eat this, you have a customer for the rest of your life. The thing I saw though was the one roll. And it's like a new thing that I think it's Charmin is doing it. And it's like a big fucking roll that is supposed to last like a month. And people were like, why is Charmin doing this? Nobody wants this. Charmin replies and they're like, well, you buy the starter kit and it comes with your own holder and it lasts you a while. It's efficiency. No. Charmin's doing that because they're the only company that sells that. So if you buy one and you have the holder, now you're a Charmin Ultra Soft customer for the rest of your life. So even if only like 10,000 people buy it, it's just, they're just selling you industrial size rolls at market value. Like they're saving money. They're selling you a starter kit too that you have to buy. And now you're only going to buy the fucking one roll. Like it is the highest IQ thing they could fucking do.
Party for him since he's been so busy with med student stuff. It was Cartoon Network themed. We had a bunch of friends over. We played games. I made ricotta bites. I came in my pants. And this is where Cody showed up behind the kitchen with a little surprise.
Hey, go. Terrible war. I made something for you.
What is it? Oh, it's a pinor.
I don't know what possessed him to offer me food when I had half a brick left in the fridge and mere hours left before I ate it. I ate the fucking food. I ate it. I cummed myself too many times and it came full circle. Literally. I am the 2-dick cannibal. Now, why did I do this? Frankly, He's the birthday boy. You can't say no to the birthday boy. Look at that
Well, it's the last 3 hours of the challenge, bro. He has like a kilogram of the fucking, or he has like a pound of the food left.
smile. How can you say no to that face? So yeah, I ended the challenge literal hours before I would have succeeded. Cause yeah, I want to sit down. I want to enjoy food with a group of people. Sue me. Also, I have no idea why I was doing this in the first place. I just kind of thought of it and I was like, yeah, that'd be a funny video idea. And I guess maybe it was. I don't know. I'm calming myself. So that's the end of the video.
He has said that like 15 times.
Happy birthday to Cody. Lots of love to all the friends that came over. I don't do this. I mean, I guess it's good for you. I don't know. Don't do this.
I do wonder if it is nutritionally better for you to eat everything that you would need in one sitting versus spacing everything out. Do you think this is better or worse for you from eating the regular food? I feel like it's probably, I feel like on paper it's better, but your body probably processes shit in a weird way where like you kind of want to be on a sliding scale of multiple things at once versus just always food maxing and then going down and food maxing. Like you're constantly just draining yourself. Maybe that's why he's using the word come so much. Anyways.
Unknowable Lovecraftian Cthulhu entity. It's just a baby. Okay, that's just...
It's like worst case scenario. A literal infant is controlling sun flares. That's a worst case scenario. The sun becomes conscious and it's not like an all-knowing like God. It's just an infant.
disturbing, but so what? Well, our sun is already extremely volatile, constantly exploding and erupting with unstable solar flares that can release dangerous radiation
Oh my god, so they have to move underground and the Teletubbies have to please the sun so the sun doesn't fucking shoot out sun flares and kill humanity?
towards Earth. Scientists even believe that we could be hit with a solar superstorm one day that could be devastating to human infrastructure. Now, imagine if all of that power was given to an unpredictable, moody baby. A baby that we know is very interested in watching and reacting to the denizens of Earth.
Ba, 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 ba.
In fact, we could even see that when the baby sun gets a little too excited, the brightness of the sun suddenly increases.
In the Teletubby show, sun flare shoots out, just singes one of the fucking Teletubbies. Finally breaks character. The guy pulls off the mask. Just fucking running around.
So, when this baby first wakes up and opens its eyes and looks down at the people of Earth, what would it see? That baby would immediately throw a massive tantrum. So if humanity went underground after this baby showed up, then I think it's because this baby had some kind of catastrophic effect on the Earth, making the surface completely uninhabitable for humans. And if you don't believe me yet, remember those drawings of a smiling sun we kept seeing in the new videos? Well, there actually is just a single episode of the reboot that shows a drawing of a sun without a face. But what's interesting is that it also shows people and a car and maybe even a police officer below the sun. Unlike the drawings with the smiling sun that only ever show grass and flowers and no signs of humanity,
Wow.
just like Teletubby Land. These drawings are telling us that when the smiling baby sun came out, humanity disappeared. Yes, I believe that Teletubbies is set in a post-apocalyptic world where humanity was forced underground because...
But then are the Teletubbies human and they're just wearing those things to please like the sun god?
the baby sun woke up. But then, what exactly are these weird creatures we see on the surface? Well, even if humanity could survive underground forever, the sentient baby sun is still up there. If they're ever gonna reclaim the surface world, or even just prevent an even bigger world-destroying tantrum, they need to address this problem. So, how do you appease an unpredictable, moody baby with unlimited power? You jingle keys in front of them. The humans created Teletubbies, 4 creatures that could withstand the dangers of the sun and
Oh, so they're not human. Like, they're able to just be out. Oh, so is it, like, really fucking hot out there? But there's plants growing.
sent them to the uninhabitable surface to keep the baby sun entertained and calm for as long as possible. Teletubbies literally is Jingly Keys for a baby. Every episode starts and ends with this baby. They are constantly cutting back to the sun's reaction every time the Teletubbies
Oh, and when it's nighttime, they're fine. Like, that's why they say, oh, the Teletubbies can come in now. And because they're probably able to live outside at night.
do something. Because the sun is the intended audience for this show. It's why everything the Teletubbies do is so heavily controlled by unseen humans.
Poe showed Lala the tutor.
Shalala. Shalala.
This dumb baby show is actually a very high stakes operation to protect what little remains of humanity. And if you still don't believe me, then let me ask you this. What are Teletubbies? They're weird, big baby things that seem to have technology integrated into them.
Is he gonna say that, like, the tips of their heads are supposed to resemble parts of keys? Like, whatever these weird antennas they have that grow on their heads?
Their bodies. But let's ask the creators of this show, what was the initial idea behind Teletubbies?
We decided we'd go to the Smithsonian and we saw the actual spacesuits of men who not that long ago walked on the moon. You know, isn't it amazing? There's all this technology and you look at them and they just look like babies with nappies on toddling about.
And they were basically NASA spacemen. They were very easily surprised by things and fell over all the time, and when they were worried about things, they hugged each other.
They were based on astronauts, aka people sent by humanity in technological suits designed to withstand inhospitable environments. Once you compare moon landing footage,
Yeah, because when they jump around like grown-ass men that spent, like, their whole lives planning to go to the moon, when they get on the moon, they just run around like a baby. Because they're just, like, astonished by the low gravity and how weird the fucking planet is. Or not the planet, the moon.
to Teletubbies, you can never unsee it.
Well, but then they wouldn't be aliens created, but by that logic, they wouldn't be aliens that are made to appease the sun gods, the sun god, the fucking baby god. It would be, effectively, the Teletubbies would just be suits, like this.
To withstand inhospitable environments. Once you compare moon landing footage to Teletubbies, you can never unsee it.
Over the hills and far away, Teletubbies come to play.
Tinky Winky,
Tinky Winky.
Dipsy, La La,
La la.
Poe,
Oh.
Teletubbies,
Teletubbies.
Oh my god.
hello.
And this is only the tip of the iceberg. Once you start viewing the show through this lens, everything that once seemed like weird, pointless nonsense suddenly takes on a whole new meaning. The Teletubbies live in a bunker-type structure beneath a hill, a shelter designed specifically to survive a
Oh my god, it'll look like a nuclear fallout shelter. So this just goes fully underground in this little divot here that keeps them safe.
a hill, a shelter designed specifically to survive a harsh environment. The Teletubbies are surrounded by advanced technology that obviously these dumb baby creatures didn't make. The technology was made by humans to take care of and control their creations.
Yeah, but I just don't understand why they wouldn't... I don't understand why they wouldn't just put humans in suits. Like this... obviously, this theory is just fucking outlandish to begin with. It's just a fan theory about how the Teletubbies just exist. But I feel like it makes more sense that the Teletubbies would just be humans in suits like spacemen.
The windmill obviously functions as some kind of signal tower to receive videos from the underground humans. But it also works as a form of renewable energy in this world without any functioning human infrastructure. Teletubby Land itself is covered in plants, the only form of life that would be able to adapt and thrive in harsh sunlight. The Teletubbies
You think plants would be able to adapt that heavily? I mean, maybe that's why everything looked weird as fuck. And everything's so far apart. There's no, like, dense forests. It's all just, like, random individual plants.
The shelter has been completely covered in grass, and we see flowers suddenly popping up all the time.
It was a
Oh, like, full rapid growing plants because they're just, like, evolving to adapt to, like, high levels of UV.
really big flower.
Oh, it's probably hot out there,
Clearly,
too.
plants are thriving in this new sun baby world. Okay, but what about the rabbits? Why are they the only animal we see on the surface? It's not like rabbits are especially resilient to sunlight. Well, what are rabbits known for? Firstly, they are extremely fast breeders.
Yeah, they fuck like crazy. That's why after they let rabbits in Australia, didn't they multiply to the millions within, like, years?
Be the perfect species to send to the surface to quickly repopulate the Earth's ecosystem. In fact, they are such fast breeders that apparently the crew filming the show kept having to pause the shoot because the rabbits kept having sex in the background. And secondly, rabbits are also commonly used by humans for laboratory testing and genetic modification. So maybe, much like the Teletubbies, these rabbits were genetically modified by humans to survive.
Oh, to withstand the climate out there? But why? Why would they put the rabbits back on there? Just to, like, try and have some sort of ecosystem for when they come back up?
The surface world. This theory wraps up a lot of loose ends about the original show. But once again, the 2022 Netflix Teletubbies reboot has some very interesting differences. And this is where things get a little more disturbing.
The others?
So the new Teletubbies reboot has 3 very interesting changes. First, as I've already explained, the human videos are now with Julia in a post-Teletubby world. They no longer just show old random videos of humanity. Suddenly, everything is now custom-made for the Teletubbies. Second, there are now Tiddlytubbies in the bunker.
What? Oh, these look weirdly animated, though. This just looks like Cocomelon. Where are their reproductive organs? I feel like it's in their TV. Like they remove a panel and like a plumbus pops out.
These horrifying CGI.
The Teletubbies had to have fucking, got it on to create mini Teletubbies.
Monstrosity.
You don't know. They're aliens. Maybe they just go, and then one pops out. Or they asexually reproduce. Like budding. Like they're like potatoes.
New baby Teletubbies that just exist now with no explanation. And finally, the strangest change of all. Every episode, the baby son has a completely new face.
Well, they're just trying to do that. They're just trying to do that to include more like child actors and also just make the show look more appealing versus having the same still frame image of one baby fucking giggling.
Why? What does this
gives it variety
mean? All of these changes are so sudden.
Also, they didn't do any filter. Now it's not even the sun. It's just like a child's head flying through the sky.
And random, and none of the
diversity as well? Well, yeah, but I'm saying they gotta do like a sun filter.
Them really fit into my theory. You guys don't understand. I have watched hours and hours of this extremely boring baby show to try and make sense of this, and I almost gave up. But then, I finally found a single episode of Teletubbies that changed my entire view of this universe. Episode 56 of the
Twinkle Twinkle on Halloween
2015 revival called Twinkle Twinkle. In this single episode, for the first and only time in the over 500 episodes of Teletubby canon, it becomes
There's
night.
500
And we watch the Teletubbies
turn the fucking subtitles off.
Leave their bunker and look up at the night sky.
Tinky Winky saw a star.
Tinky Winky star!
The
Oh, they talk?
star was making music.
Twinkle,
Oh, they just say their own name. They just say their own name like they're Pokemon.
twinkle,
Like Pikachu.
Tinky Winky discovers a star that is singing to him. And for me, this implies 3 things.
All stars are conscious.
First, there are other sentient stars out there. It's not just our sun. For all we know, all stars in this universe could actually be sentient. And second, the star has an adult voice. So this is likely what our baby sun will one day grow into. And finally, the most unsettling implication here is that other stars have begun to notice the Teletubbies. And suddenly, the 2022 reboot makes a lot more sense.
What, like all the stars are watching Earth?
Humanity's plan to use Teletubbies to entertain the cosmic horror baby sun worked. But it worked a little too well, because now they've started attracting other baby suns.
This is fucking stupid. This is fucking stupid. There's one sun. This would tear the fucking Earth apart with the gravity of what stars actually physically migrating over.
This is a whole new problem for humanity, and 4 Teletubbies is not enough to appease all of these sun babies, which is why they've suddenly begun to create more.
Oh, they're in training.
Suddenly, just watching old videos of humanity isn't enough. The humans below the Earth have to custom make higher quality videos with more children to keep the babies entertained. Humans are so desperate to meet the demands of all of these new sun babies that they are willing to.
Bro, just get a big flat screen, point it towards the sky, and play Skibbity Toilet on repeat. Fucking hell. There's your solution, humanity. What are we're creating fucking CGI, demon Teletubbies to fucking entertain the star, bro? Come on.
Do anything to appease them.
Just wait till you hear me say the words blast off, then run and touch a star.
Wait a second. Why would they be teaching children to touch the stars?
Then run and touch a star.
They're gonna try and take over the fucking stars themselves.
Wouldn't that be like the last thing they'd want to tell children to do? The whole reason they're down here is because of how dangerous stars are, right? Unless they're preparing these children to go to the surface? Wait, are these kids the Teletubbies? Is this where Teletubbies come from? They've been human children the whole time? No! So yeah, that is my theory. Teletubbies is actually a post-apocalypse where humans live underground and are turning children into Teletubbies and sending them to the surface to entertain giant sun baby gods.
Oh, like they're genetically modifying them post birth. Like they're not just putting them in a costume; they're like actually like changing their DNA so they turn into Teletubbies.
Is that good?
Wow. Well, that was interesting. That was a very weird video. Due to copyright, I had to remove a section to show the smiling drawings in the new Netflix reboot Humans. It basically helps support the idea that humans live in a world with a sentient smiling sun. All right. Well, that was a fun React segment, chat. Now it's time to hop into the fucking Halloween.
Shorter and begins to look paler and thinner. Visually, we understand the transformation the character is undergoing.
I'm not changing. I just want to go to Dr. Hill and get a second opinion.
Would this work if she was played by someone like Margot Robbie? I don't think so. It's Mia Farrow's unique look that helps make the character feel like an actual person that could exist somewhere, which makes us empathize with her more.
Dr. Hill, please.
It's the same with John Travolta in Blowout, Shelley Duvall and Jack Nicholson in The Shining.
Well, because the average person that's watching a movie that wants to relate to the main character isn't going to... Like, I get you casting fucking Chris Evans and Hemsworth for Thor and Captain America. They're fucking superheroes. They're not supposed to be everyday people. Thor is a god, right? But, like, when you have a regular taxi driver playing a role in a movie, you want that guy to be relatable, and the average person watching the movie isn't going to relate to a guy that's a 10.
In Star Wars, Luke and his family look like fairly ordinary people, whereas Grand Moff Tarkin and the Imperial officers have a much more austere look to them.
Fear will keep the local systems in line.
In the 20th century, the pool of actors to choose from seems to have been much more aesthetically varied than it is today. There was actors with big noses.
I got it, go ahead.
Big foreheads.
He's gonna prove it to the whole world.
Heavy-set eyes.
Did you know that?
And receding hairlines.
You and me together, that'd be tops.
We subconsciously infer things about people's personality based on their features, which in turn helps them create a richer character without much heavy lifting.
Mentally, you picture my dog.
In Taxi Driver...
But I think they do so, like, there's still TV shows. I think movies, it's gone away, but TV shows, they still have it. Always Sunny in Philadelphia isn't even filmed in Philly, but it still gives that Philly vibe. They look like regular-ass white people that live in Philly. Danny DeVito is like Danny DeVito, like sometimes they make him seem like a goblin, bro. He'll be naked crawling out of a fucking couch covered in oil. Like, I know that's part of the comedy, but it's like they're not like, imagine if Always Sunny in Philly was just like Margot Robbie, Brad Pitt as the old guy, and then, you know, Olivia Rodrigo. You'd be like, okay, well, these aren't regular fucking Philly actors. There's shows where they actually make fun of that. Like, I Love L.A. They make fun of L.A. culture. They look like L.A. people. They might live in L.A., but, like, they cast people that, like, fit this L.A. role, and it makes fun of that. So I love that show. I don't watch it all the time. I'll watch it with Brooke when she's watching it, but it's a good fucking show. But even back then, they had people that didn't. It's so weird because I think on average, movies in general do cast higher attractive roles. But like, dude, the cast of Friends, all attractive, all of them. Maybe Ross is like unconventionally attractive, but like Phoebe, Monica, and Rachel are all 9s, 10s, right? Very pretty. Joey Tribbiani, attractive guy. Chandler, attractive guy, right? Ross, I would say maybe unconventionally attractive, but he also was signed for that role. It makes sense, right? Like, Ross is still a good-looking dude. It's like all of them were 10s, almost. Chandler, I think Chandler was a good-looking guy. Obviously, he was dealing with, like, you know, problems where he was fluctuating in weight and, like, he looked different depending on the scene. But I think overall, he still looked good.
This guy, completely bald on top, but with a flow at the back. This guy with his scruffy beard and round glasses. And even De Niro himself with his 5 o'clock shadow and redness around his eyes. If you got into a cab and this was the driver, you wouldn't think twice.
Did I tell you to do that with the meter?
All of these actors look like they actually belong in the setting rather than just walking out of a dressing room.
Can I talk to you for a second?
And this is environmental immersion. In 1976, after Sylvester Stallone went 15 rounds in Rocky, his face was soaking wet, his hair sticking to his head, and he's covered in blood with his face fully contorted with bruises. But in 2015, after Michael B. Jordan fought in Creed, he's just got a subtle sheen of sweat and a small...
Yeah, bro, they make him look too good. I'm like, this is, bro, Paddy Pimblett in that UFC fight where he didn't get knocked out, but he got his head fucked up so bad that he literally looked like a pumpkin. His face was swelling so much. Like, get the hell out of here. I'm supposed to watch Creed and be like, oh, dude, his face is a little scuffed and he's getting killed this fight, but it'll be all right.
Bruise around one eye.
Like, I need to see one eye swollen. Stop! Like, that would put you on the floor. Bro, your face would be so fucked if you got knocked like that.
Stop! It's me!
At the end of Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire's suit is ripped to hell, revealing his bruised, dirty, and sweaty face. And
that's one thing I'll say about Spider-Man. People get upset with me. I think the first Spider-Man is the worst Spider-Man. I think that Tom Holland's Spider-Man is better than Tobey Maguire's. But I think Tobey Maguire fits the Spider-Man look the best out of any of them. I love Tom Holland the most. I actually think Andrew Garfield second, Tobey Maguire third, off of acting. But when you think of like everyday New Yorker, kind of a nerd, you know, a dweeb, getting these powers and then becoming a superhero, I'm not thinking of Tom Holland. And I'm not thinking of Andrew Garfield. I'm thinking of Toby McChud, you know, Chud Maguire, you know. That's the guy that fits the bill, you know. Looks like an everyday dude, gets powers, becomes some superhero god, has that really cringy scene where they slick his hair back when he's Venom and he's like, I hate that scene, by the way. That's the worst. Like that, whenever I see that scene, it's right below the Happy Birthday song in Breaking Bad.
Chaotic tear across his mask.
Mr. Osborn.
But for Tom Holland, he's got a couple of cuts that seem very intentionally placed, and his suit isn't ripped at all. His mask hasn't been torn open, but just neatly taken off.
Hey, Blondie? Water?
After Clint Eastwood walked 70 miles in the desert, his face is completely scarred and burned. We can barely recognize him. But today, there aren't many examples of actors looking scarred like this. It seems like everyone has to look perfect all the time. It's as if somewhere along the way, almost every actor has taken...
That movie was so fucking bad. That movie was so fucking bad. Jurassic World, love Scarlett Johansson. My God, this movie was terrible. Every scene, she's like, well, I'm a co-op expert. That's why they hired me. I'm a co-op expert. What the fuck do you have to do? I'm a co-op expert. Okay, so we're bringing you to go extract dinosaur blood? You worked in the military and, like, covert shit. What the hell does that have to do with going to stab a T-Rex? Okay? You have your skill transfer. That's like you being a pro in Rocket League and being like, I'm a Rocket League pro. And we're in fucking Vietnam. And we're in Vietnam. You know, we're loading artillery, and you're like, don't worry, I was SSL. That means about jack shit to me. What the fuck does that have to do with this?
It's as if somewhere along the way, almost every actor has taken the substance and transformed into a kind of picture-perfect version of themselves. Not a single wrinkle, not a hair out of place, and completely smooth skin. The best we'll get is maybe a small smear of dirt or a tiny...
The worst that I despise is movie scenes where they're like so fucked. They've been surviving in the wilderness. They, you know, fighting limb to limb to survive. And then you see their teeth, pearly white. They've been in the jungle for 6 months. And they fuck up their face and they make them look, you know, all messed up. And then they're like, and you see the glare off their teeth. I'm like, yo. It's not like why we can't tint their teeth yellow to make this look more real.
Cut. And they look great, but when everyone looks perfect, things start to get a bit stale.
Well, see, no, that scene's different because that's just Vin Diesel, right? That's Dom Toretto. Vin Diesel after plunging a burning car into dirty water. It's Dom Toretto.
And they look great.
Dom Toretto's fucking a badass.
But when everyone looks perfect, things start to get a bit stale. And sure, this isn't every single actor working today. You can still find distinct looking people, but it seems like it is the majority of them. In an article from
That's what I was saying.
2021, Raquel S. Benedict likens our body to become an investment in which we have to maximize our value through looking good. We're reduced to a collection of features like perfect skin or a strong jawline. The body is no-
Oh my God, what is that thing called where it's supposed to give you a better jaw? Bro, just like chew gum. I never understand that shit. Jawzercise, I think is the name of the product.
Features like perfect skin or a strong jawline. The body is no longer the vehicle through which we experience joy and pleasure, but a status symbol that needs to be constantly presentable to the world.
Put your greasy tits away, you preening slut.
For actors, this is taken to the extreme, especially for women. They can never age or show any imperfection. They need to be a bankable star, and a big part of this is looking good on camera.
Pretty girls should always smile.
Let's take hairlines as an example. Sure, Andrew Garfield probably got a hair transplant because he thought it would improve his appearance, but also because it's better to have a smaller forehead as a leading man. And with modern technology, if you can fix this, why wouldn't you?
Yes, Sergeant!
This just wasn't the case in the past, hence a wider spectrum of hairlines and a bigger aesthetic variety.
I wouldn't touch one hair on his goddamn little head.
But today, this is becoming increasingly noticeable, and more people are...
But it's when they're playing a role. I think you want a smaller forehead when the main character is 40 or below. But if you're a main character in your 50s as a guy, having a perfect hairline is almost off-putting Because the average man in his 50s is going to either be bald or have a receding hairline. Like, without a doubt.
Commenting on it, and here are a few things they've said. I miss actors having normal teeth, and then a picture of Tom Cruise from The Outsiders.
Check this out, buddy.
It's so annoying and just plain boring that everyone has the same teeth, the same body. I miss people looking...
Okay, well, the Barbie movie is a bad example because Margot Robbie is supposed to look uncannily perfect. Like, I was gonna mention the Barbie movie where she's supposed to look perfect, right?
Different and interesting.
Restroom and make sure my hair is perfect.
I watched Invasion of the Body Snatchers last night, and it stood out to me that while Sutherland is hot, he's also clearly in his 40s. Like, if Hollywood wanted to make a movie of a 40-something A-lister playing a middle-aged health inspector, who would they cast? Ryan Reynolds? Chris Evans?
I got this.
We no longer have leading men who are good-looking and charismatic, but also don't look like they wake up at 5 AM to hit the gym. On Twitter, someone was talking about the 1974 movie Taking of Pelham 123. They said it's weirdly invigorating to watch a movie where every actor has an incredible face, and they all look normal, like no veneers inside.
This is supposed to be a democracy.
Old actors have more grace than current ones. We can't have a truly accurate cast for the Beatles because they just don't make weird, crusty-looking young men actors like that anymore. I miss casting movies that weren't all A-listers or trying to be. Sometimes just having normal-ass people in your movie make...
I have been complaining about the fact that... Oh, wow, this guy plays the serial killer in Dexter. Anyways, sorry. I don't even know this guy's name, but I just recognize the face. I've been ranting about how I don't like that the new actors, like Gen Z actors, it's like there's like 5 of them. there's like 5 of them. Whenever you see a big new movie coming out, it's never like a random actor playing the main role. It's always somebody that's like super famous. And I think it's this idea too from Hollywood that like what gets ticket sales is mainstream actors. And it's true to a degree that like if you see a movie that's coming out and it has a famous actor in it, you're more likely to go see it. You know, like if Jacob Elordi, is in a movie, you're going to be like, well, I kind of want to go see that. But if Jacob Elordi's not in the film and it's just like some random guy that isn't that super attractive, or woman for that matter, it's like, you know, it's the same thing. The level of popular actors is like, it's a smaller pool now.
Makes it feel more realistic. To which someone replied, convinced this will be the downfall of the Odyssey. Which brings us on to perhaps a good label to put on this kind of perfect looking A-lister we see today. iPhone face. It's hard to define, but I think it's basically this kind of pristine look that most actors seem to have. It's why some people look out of place in period pieces, because they've got a modern haircut or their teeth are too white. They're striving for a kind of look that didn't really exist before the 21st century. And this speaks to a kind of aesthetic that many modern movies have. They're perfectly lit, the set perfectly designed, the actors in perfectly clean clothes. But this kind of perfection just makes it all look boring. It's the messiness of a normal...
And it doesn't bring... The immersion's not there. Like, I want to see some shit where, you know, their couch is fucked up. Like, you're supposed to be this, like, struggling artist in this film, and you're playing, like, somebody that's broke. Meanwhile, yeah, your apartment's small, but you have, like, a brand new couch, and your carpet's perfectly clean, and you have no crumbs on the floor. There's no, like, weird marks on the walls, you know? Like, every regular room for somebody, you're going to have, like, a scratch or a hole in the wall. Like, why don't they have that? Method acting? Well, not even method acting for the actor. I'm more saying, like, the sets just suck.
Or the dirt kicked up from horses, the colour of the set, and the way it's lit. We're losing a sense of personality not only in how actors look, but in how films in general look.
Hello?
Digital cinematography has given everything the same kind of Netflixy feel. Look, this isn't every movie, and it's not every actor. If you look for it, you can find interesting looking people.
Oh, that movie was so fucking stupid. Oh my god, no, I'm gonna get so mad if... Dude, every time he shows that Jurassic Park movie. Where if you don't know, there's like this... They're going... Okay. So, in the Jurassic Park movie, the new one, dinosaurs exist, but they only can live at the equator, and you're not allowed to go to the equator. This stupid fucking family is driving a boat through the equator, and they get capsized by a dinosaur. Shocker. They all freak out. The boyfriend's a dick, blah, blah, blah. They end up getting picked up by Scarlett Johansson and her crew, which is trying to extract dinosaur blood to, like, cure cancer. That's the plot, right? Like, it's trying to, like, cure cancer, extend people's lifetimes. It's going to, like, make people immortal or some shit, right? And you're just sitting here like, oh, okay. They don't even explain why. And they get on this boat. They end up getting separated. And the family is, like, struggling to survive in this area. And they're like, none of them die, by the way. Spoiler. Which is, like, so stupid. Because, you know, this is, like, a family of 5 that has no survival expertise. And they just get lucky at every corner. It's just, like, full plot armor. And while they're all, like, struggling for their life and, like, running from these crazy dinosaurs, one of their daughter, like, befriends this tiny dinosaur. And I'm like, dude, she would be terrified of that motherfucker. Their boat got capsized by a dinosaur. She's never seen dinosaurs in real life like this. They land on this island. They're getting chased by dinosaurs, and she sees this baby dinosaur that's, like, cute or whatever, and she's like, aw. I'm like, oh, hell no. She would not, like, walk up to that thing. Dude, everybody would be traumatic. I would be scared to walk up to anything that was moving.
People in modern movies, but this whole change in how actors, and by extension movies in general, look is a natural result of an industry that's afraid to take risks. Movies need to make money, so they minimize anything that could theoretically make the film less successful, but in the process, remove what makes it special. Both films and actors aren't ugly anymore. They're not dirty anymore or bruised anymore. No one looks normal, and everyone looks perfect, and this is a problem.
It's worse than Hubie Halloween. No, Hubie Halloween is a bottom 3 film. I love Adam Sandler. I think that when he plays that role where he does that, like, ooh, I don't know. I just have some soup in a bowl. I'm like, shut up. Shut up. That's, like, so fun. It's so annoying. And it's like he's not playing the role well. It's like he has, like, 5 characters, and one of them's, like, a quirky, weird guy that he plays. And he does the same thing in Waterboy. And it's like, oh my God. And no, it's just, dude, it's so, I can't get over it. And there's Adam Sandler movies that I love. I just think that those movies are unbearable. Actually, no, Jack and Jill's worse than Hubie Halloween. Jack and Jill was the worst movie that he's ever made. I gotta piss again, and we're gonna hop into the next movie. Top 10 worst years in human history.
Around for roughly 200,000 years. And honestly,
Let me guess a few of them. Something with the Black Plague. World War II, when the bombs dropped. In human history, I was going to say in history, probably when the meteor hit the dinosaurs. Humans weren't around then. 2008. Why? The housing market crash? Y2K, when the world didn't end.
that time was spent dying in pools of our own diarrhea.
2020. I don't think like COVID years are top 10 worst years in human history. Yeah, Holocaust. That's why I said World War II.
So when you think of the worst years in human history, it's basically all of them. But that would be a boring video. So let's be prisoners of the moment and allow recency bias to cloud our analysis as we rank the top 10 worst years to be alive in human history. Number 10, 1918. This year kicks off with a
I feel like that was a pretty fire year now. Wasn't that right before the Roaring 20s? Roaring 20s was like a great time to fucking like be a middle-class American.
little something called the Spanish flu.
Unless you were black or a woman or a minority or a non-white man or disabled. Okay, so maybe it wasn't a great time to be alive during the 1920s.
Surprisingly, this flu wasn't
or gay. Yeah, okay.
Actually from Spain, but it was still no bueno. Exact numbers for the death toll are kind of hard to pin down.
Oh, Spanish flu.
But estimates range from 20 to 50 million human deaths globally. The Spanish flu was
50 million deaths. How many people died from COVID? 7.1 million. Wow. So Spanish flu was like 6 times that? No, 7 point something times.
Particularly deadly for 2 reasons. 1, it was a brand new strain of the flu, and 2, the conditions of the Great War made it so much easier for the disease to spread. Soldiers returning home brought the flu with them, infecting people in remote areas who had no immunity to the virus. What was extra special about the Spanish flu was that it was unusually deadly for young adults compared to other flu viruses of the time, leading to a significantly higher death toll. This disease...
Chat, if you got the Spanish flu, do you think you would eat that shit? I think I got a pretty weak immune system when it comes to, like, big illnesses. I had COVID twice, and I was fine. But that was COVID. Spanish flu, like, part of me, okay, I would never want it, but part of me is like, would I die with the Black Plague? Yeah. Yeah. No modern medicine, right? Like, let's say you get the Spanish flu, but you're not allowed to take, like, Advil, Tylenol, nothing. Like, you're just you're ripping it. You know, like, you're lasting that shit out. It's wraps. Most of us are dying.
Was terrifying for doctors.
Black Plague has to be on this. The Black Plague was so bad that people thought it was an evil that brought the end of the world, bro. That many people fucking died. There were bodies in the streets, piles of dead people. When the Black Plague was like the devil himself coming back to Earth, bro. Like a third, it was a third of Europe. I'm pretty sure it was more than a third of Europe. I think it was maybe a third of Europe as a whole, but a ton of, like, certain areas, like, almost everybody died. How many people in Europe died of the Black Plague? 50 million people, but this was in the 1300s. So 50 million people in the 1300s is way more than the 1900s. 30 to 60% of the continent's population of Europe died. Florence, for example, lost up to 60% of its population, similar to London. So, like, heavily populated cities lost, like, more than half of their people.
Just because of how quickly it spread, or how quickly their
It was a third of the world. That's what it was.
patients died, but the process of how people died from it. Heliotrope cyanosis was a symptom of the Spanish flu, where a patient's skin would slowly turn purple as their lungs filled with fluid, preventing them from getting enough oxygen into their bloodstream. The blue/purple color would start in their lips and fingers, but eventually spread across their whole body as they neared death. After the patient passed, their entire body would then quickly turn from purple to black. Truly horrific stuff. To make matters worse, 1918 was also the final year of World War I, which saw another 5 million global casualties and made most of Europe no fun. Also in this year, you had the Russian Revolution going on, which ended the House of Romanov for good with the assassination of Nicholas II and his family this year. This revolution allowed Vladimir Lenin to take power, where he established a totalitarian dictatorship that oversaw the mass killing of political dissidents. The revolution was marked by brutal civil war and famine, which killed millions more. And finally, the Treaty of Versailles was being drafted, which, while not initially terrible, put Germany in a super bad mood that had some pretty major downstream consequences. But more on that later. Number 9, 1492.
What happened in 1492? I feel like there's a gap. I feel like there's a gap in human knowledge. Like, most humans know a lot of shit that happened between 1800 and, like, today. And then you know a little bit about the 1600s and, like, Jamestown and, you know, fucking witch trial shit, blah, blah, blah. You know, you could even go back to, like, certain, like, poets or people that were alive, like musicians in, like, 1300s. 1492, oh, Columbus. Columbus sailed the ocean blue in 1492. Ooh. That one slipped the brain for a minute there. Yeah.
We all know in 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. But by doing
you gotta say the rhyme for me to know. You can't just show me the date.
that, Columbus also opened up a portal to hell for nearly everyone who is currently living in the Americas.
Yo, that motherfucker was a horrible person, bro. They don't teach. Yo, they deadass didn't teach. I feel like now they probably do. I remember when I was a kid, bro, they did not teach about Columbus being a horrible person. They were like, Columbus founded the Americas. That motherfucker lied to the Native Americans and said that the fucking moon was gonna, or the sun was gonna disappear, or the moon was gonna disappear. They lied. He was like, hey, the sun's gonna disappear if you don't fucking give us food. And they were like, no, it won't. Because who the fuck would believe that? And he just knew knowledge about astronomy. And he said his God was more powerful than theirs. And then there was a fucking solar eclipse. And the sun disappeared. And then they fucking gave them all their food. And then died.
Every indigenous person that came in contact with the Europeans.
I thought he said the moon would be of blood. I'm pretty sure he just predicted a solar eclipse. Yeah, in 1504. There was a total lunar eclipse. During his fourth voyage, Christopher Columbus induced the inhabitants of Jamaica to continue provisioning him and his hungry men, intimidating them by predicting a total lunar eclipse. Some claim Columbus used the ephemeris of the German astronomer, but Columbus himself attributed the prediction to the Almanac of Abraham Zacuto. He got beached, blah, blah, blah. They needed food. They couldn't give it to him. And then he, like, basically just, like,
settler was
lied
either
to them. He would also, like, you know, do some pretty fucked up shit in general.
killed by a disease, killed in the slave trade, killed in war, or died of a broken heart. And while it certainly didn't all happen in 1 year, the introduction of European settlers to the Americas ended up killing 90% of the indigenous population.
Even if it was a peaceful interaction, Europeans brought over diseases that the Native Americans hadn't encountered yet. And then they all died. Same thing with, like, a lot of encounters with, like, Amazonian, like, tribes. Like, you just, like, go see them. You could be peaceful, and then they're all just gonna get, like, fucking smallpox and die.
Diseases like smallpox, measles, and influenza decimated communities that had no immunity to these foreign illnesses. I guess one could argue that the events of 1492 had positive effects.
It was not peaceful. I'm saying there was multiple interactions. There were instances of peaceful interactions. Many were not.
On much of humanity.
Not with Columbus. I'm talking about, like, people just arriving to the Americas.
Leading to the age of exploration and the eventual globalization of trade and culture that brought us things like pizza and chocolate. However, the near extinction of an entire continent civilization does put it on our list. Number 8, 2008. This is probably the
housing market crash. I feel like we're jumping pretty heavily here. The housing market crash of 2008 was worse than smallpox.
Height of recency bias, but
and Vladimir Lenin.
Who cares? It sucked. 2008 was the year the entire world realized that rich people just basically make up how much money there is. And for a number of reasons too complicated to go into in this video, something called Lehman Brothers went out of business, and then the entire global economy collapsed. Stock markets around the world crashed. The American auto industry nearly went belly up, and the cost of food and gas.
And the bubble of borrowing money or having debt to buy assets is like what's happening right now with the AI bubble. I'm not trying to, like, make people panic, but the shit that happened right before the 2008 housing market crash where people were taking on debt to buy houses and assets is exactly what's happening right now with big businesses. So if it fails, they're fucked.
Went through the roof. It was the worst financial crisis since the Great Depression, causing millions of Americans to lose their jobs and homes. Also, if you've ever wondered, why do houses cost so much these days? Well, in the aftermath of the 2008 mortgage crisis, new home construction basically stopped for about 10 years because nobody could get a loan. And since there wasn't a 10-year hiatus on unprotected sex, we now have way too many people and way too few houses. So thanks again 2008 for still ruining all of our lives. What? China and Australia's economy actually grew during the Great Recession? What do you mean America isn't the center of the universe? Number 7, 73,000 BC.
Yeah, I feel like that's a little absurd to put the 2008 housing market crisis as one of the worst years in human history. Like, I wouldn't even say that's, like, top 50. Like, you could say 30s was, like, the Great Depression, because that was bad for the world as well.
Okay, so we're a little loosey-goosey on the exact year, but trust me, whenever it was bad. Rewind
73,000 BC. I love how we're jumping around history right now. We got Spanish flu. We have Christopher Columbus, 2008, and now 73,000 BC.
Clock 70 or so millennia, and you'll witness what's known as a super
Pompeii. When was Pompeii? Wait, is this Pompeii?
Volcano eruption.
No, Pompeii was not 73,000 BC. 73,000 BC, there wasn't fucking cities yet. When was Pompeii? That was probably like fucking 3,000 years ago. 79 CE, so 2,000 years ago.
This particular event is known as the Toba catastrophe and is probably the thing Indonesia is second most famous for after Komodo dragons. This eruption set off a 10-year volcanic winter that nearly eliminated the entire human species. The Toba eruption released so much volcanic ash into the atmosphere that it blocked sunlight, leading to a drastic drop in global temperatures. The few survivors faced harsh conditions, with scarce food and resources, struggling to maintain their communities. The entire human population left on Earth was somewhere between 3,000 and 10,000 people, or roughly the size of Brandon, South Dakota.
When we're all descendants of them. Wow. We're all related to those people. How did, that's what, I feel like that's so cool that like every person has a common ancestor, like what, 60 people ago or something? Like there's somebody that we're all, so we're all related in some way, yeah. But not in a sense of like incest. But then, I'm pretty sure this era is when they were making like was it whale bones? No, I think it might have been like, what's that motherfucker from Ice Age? A mammoth. Mammoth bone huts. Yeah, people used to live in this. Stuff that looked like this. Ukraine. Mammoth bone structure homes. This was like when it was like really fucking cold out. They would make shit like this out of just straight animal remains because it was so insulative. And they would put like hides and other stuff on the outside because it was just cold as fuck.
You've never heard of Brandon, South Dakota? Okay, Madison Square Garden can hold around 20,000 people, so the entire population left on Earth after that eruption could fit in MSG twice. This phenomenon is known as a genetic bottleneck, and is also why we're all kind of related. Number 6, 1929. The Roaring Twenties came to an abrupt end in 1929 when the U.S. stock market crashed, setting off, stop me if you've heard this before, a global economic collapse. The Great Depression that followed was a decade-long economic...
Oh no! Oh no! American steel is down! Is down! Let me go withdraw all my money from the bank! And then they had no money.
Disaster that affected almost every country in the world.
Yeah, imagine pulling up to a bank going, I want to withdraw my money. And they go, we don't have it. Huh? Huh?
Mental health was...
We don't have it. Huh?
At an all-time low immediately following the market crash. Self-deletion rates were so high...
Teletubbies, The Sun Woke Up. Theory by Alex Bale. We've watched some of his other ones about SpongeBob. But this one is an in-depth conspiracy theory about the Teletubbies, the childhood show that many of us grew up watching. Can I say the Teletubbies I had a love-hate relationship with when I was a kid? Because there's certain aspects where it's like the baby as the sun is just like clearly a kid's show, but a lot of the show's really fucking creepy, like uncanny almost. Kind of like they almost, I would say they live in like the back rooms, basically.
How will the world end? It's a question that's haunted humanity for as long as we can remember. Will it be from nuclear war, or AI taking over, or some kind of disease wiping us out?
But what if it's the Teletubby sun consuming the people of Earth? This is Alex Bale, and welcome back to another conspiracy theory.
Now, there have been many different works of...
Now, actually, if the world ends, I feel like it's going to be nuclear. Nuclear or AI, or a mix of the two. I feel like it would be both, honestly. At least in our lives. If it's not in our lives, I could see it just being like an asteroid hits Earth and kills everybody if we don't move to another planet first.
Fiction that explore all of these different possibilities. But what if I told you there is one piece of media out there that shows us a possibility that nobody has considered yet? And that's because it was hidden inside of a children's educational TV show. Teletubbies dares to ask a question that shows us the darkest, most horrifying fate for humanity.
What if the sun turning The sun turning conscious. Alex actually just bought a red Teletubby.
If the sun was a baby.
That's how the world's gonna end? Fan theory by Alex Bale. There's no way he made a 22-minute video about how the sun's a baby and that's how the world's gonna end. That's literally, bro, the sun's a baby. That's not even a conspiracy theory. The sun's just a baby in the show. That's what it is. Oh, see, why does he make it creepy? Jingly keys.
It's possible I went a little too far with this video. Teletubbies is essentially just jingly keys to distract babies. It's not like Blue's Clues or Magic School Bus where there is some semblance of a...
Yeah, they don't speak, right? The Teletubbies are like non-verbal alien creatures that just go like, and they make like weird noises. And they have like TV screens on their stomachs.
Plot or conflict. Teletubbies is just kind of nothing. There is no substance to this show, which is understandable because it was made for literally 1-year-old babies.
Okay, that's a bit of a diss because I remember watching the show. So, I remember watching Teletubbies, so I was definitely not one when I was watching this. I was maybe 5 or 6, but, you know, okay, some of us mentally age at different rates, you know? Don't be rude.
I will now.
Wait, is this actually a Teletubby scene? That's all the character does? I don't remember anything about the show, outside of them being really weird and living in, like, some fantasy back rooms.
I will now try and describe the plot of this show. Teletubbies are these weird-looking alien baby things.
I feel like it's like Tom and Jerry. Like, they just get up to mischief and do weird things.
That live in a bunker in Teletubby land, and they just kind of...
Bunker! What else could a bunker be? Nuclear bomb bunker. Fallout, the Fallout game. Teletubbies, inspiration from that. They live in Guantanamo Bay.
Walk around doing nothing until a creepy speaker slowly comes out of the ground and tells them what to do.
Speaker out of the ground, actually a spyglass from a nuclear submarine. This is actually a floating planet that goes through the ocean at different rates. That's why the climate changes depending on where they are and why the sun rises so often, because they're going through different time zones, so they're seeing actually multiple sunrises in one day.
Time for Tubby bye-bye. Time for Tubby bye-bye.
And there is also this giant sun baby thing that is constantly watching and laughing at them. And there is also a windmill that sends videos to their stomachs of just some random kids also kind of doing nothing for like 5 minutes.
Playing on the beach.
Yo, low-key, Teletubbies is just interdimensional cable. The show makes no sense. But it's just like, it's brain rot. It's literally just brain rot.
And it is so boring and by far the worst part of this show. And then when they're finally done with it, they literally just watch the exact same video again.
Talk about filler. Holy fuck. Right now, what one sentence essay to fucking one paragraph where they watch the same clip twice?
Because all this show is trying to do is just waste time distracting babies with jingly keys for as long as humanly possible. And I have watched so much Teletubbies for this video, and I hate it. Also, there's a vacuum cleaner named Nunu that looks like he's constantly in pain.
Constantly in pain, bro. He looks like he's on fucking bath salts.
Nunu is my favorite character because I can relate to him. And look, I get it. This is a baby show, I am not the target audience, and hopefully neither are the people watching this video. There is clearly no actual lore or world building here for me to discuss.
Or is there?
Years ago, I even made another parody video of dark, edgy Teletubby theories.
Now why don't we watch a little bit of Teletubbies and see what we find? We see the show using overstimulating vibrant colors to mimic the psychedelic effects of LSD.
You know, that was...
You made a theory 10 fucking years ago about Teletubbies?
Just me making fun of losers who genuinely try to analyze this baby stuff. Anyways, here's my genuine analysis of Teletubbies. Despite everything I have just said, I do believe that there is a way to make sense of every weird random detail in this show. And it starts...
Well, the sun, somebody in chat said the sun is just the viewers watching, which makes sense. But like everything else, it's just like, is there a plot behind this? Or is this just directors trying to make visually appealing things for infants?
Every weird random detail in this show. And it starts by asking a very simple question. Where is Teletubby Land?
Over the hills and far away, Teletubbies come
Area 51
to play.
It looks like Earth with the...
There's an abundance of rabbits. There's an abundance of rabbits. Where are rabbits not supposed to be, but they multiply in insane amounts? Australia.
Nature and
New Zealand. Rabbits are in Australia. Or no, not rabbits. Well, rabbits are in Australia. Teletubbies are in Australia.
Rabbits, but we never actually see any humans. For all we know, this could be some distant alien planet or magical alternate dimension. But we know Teletubbies do have some kind of connection to humanity.
Because they have the same sun.
The weird speakers are constantly telling them to do human things, and they are constantly being sent videos of human children in the real world.
Hi, I'm Romy. Let's make some bagels.
And I feel
That's a plot of the show. What is this, an NBC News fucking flash segment? We're just talking, hey, this is Johnny's Bagel Shop. The Teletubbies are watching.
like the intro at the start of every episode does imply that Teletubby Land is on Earth somewhere.
Over the hills and far away.
Over the hills and far away. They are telling us where the show takes place in relation to us, the viewer. And to get there, we need to go over the hills that are in our way, as opposed to like going through space or a magical portal. Meaning Teletubby Land is likely on Earth.
But it's past the ice wall. The Teletubbies is proving that the Earth's flat. The Teletubbies is proving that the Earth's flat because it's over the hills. They're saying it's over the barrier that the government sets for us, and this is all government experiment, and they're trying to hide that from the fucking humans. The Teletubbies aren't actors. They're actual aliens being filmed.
This doesn't make sense, because Teletubby Land has a weird sentient baby face sun, but in the human videos, we can see that they just have a regular normal sun with no face. So, if they're both supposed to be on Earth, then why is the sun different? Well, maybe it's not a question of where Teletubby Land is, but when. What if Teletubbies takes place on Earth in the future sometime after the normal sun somehow grew a baby face? And if that—
Chills. Goosebumps going over my fucking arms right now. This is insane.
That sounds far-fetched, then take a closer look at these human videos. Now, in most kids' educational shows—
to remind them what humanity is because humans are extinct.
These types of segments are like Blue's Clues, where Steve gets sent mail from children who are fans of the show and say, "Hi Steve, I love Blue's Clues."
Look, it's a letter from our friends.
Hi, Steve. Let's go see my classroom.
But in all 485 episodes of both the original and—
Do you think the kids that were like previewed on Blue's Clues kind of like have that as a fun fact, a part of their life? I feel like that becomes a part of your personality. Like you mentioned that. You mentioned that early in. You don't hide like if you were a kid on Blue's Clues, yeah, that's an icebreaker. You're at a bar. You know, I was actually on Blue's Clues when I was a kid. I feel like everybody would be like, "Really? Tell me more."
2015 revival of Teletubbies. Not once do the children ever acknowledge the fact that these videos are being sent to Teletubbies.
Hello, my name's Daniel. Hello, I'm Stephanie.
They never even say the word Teletubby, which feels like a very weird, deliberate choice. For all intents and purposes, these are just random videos of humanity that could have been made long before Teletubbies ever even existed. And this all gets a lot more interesting when we take a look at the most recent Netflix Teletubbies reboot from 2022.
Over the hills and...
There was a reboot. Netflix bought out Teletubbies to keep making the show.
Far away, Teletubbies come to play.
Time for Teletubbies. Time for Teletubbies.
This reboot—
hard scene change in the new Netflix special. It just fucking teleports them to like a fucking nuclear war center.
It makes a couple very interesting changes to the show. One of them being to the human video segments.
Ew, why do they shake like that?
Human video segments.
Dipsy. Hi. Hi there. Hi.
Hold up, I'm getting a video segment on my stomach. What the fuck?
Instead of just a couple random kids out in the world, these videos now take place inside of a single reoccurring location with a woman named Julia—
a clone bunker! Because humanity's extinct and Julia's a fucking AI robot!
Who sings a song with a group of different children every episode.
You are a rocket, a super fast rocket, then run and touch a star.
And what's immediate—
Yo, fire whoever wrote that dumbass song. Are you fucking kidding me? No flow. What? Go and touch a star? What are you, a third grader? You can't come up with a better bar than that? This is a fucking Netflix show, dude. What type of budget? I feel like ChatGPT could come up with some better shit than that.
Then run and touch a star.
I go run and touch a star.
And what's immediately different about these videos is that for the first time ever in the 27 years of this show airing, there actually is a direct acknowledgement of Teletubbies from a human being. Julia's shirt clearly shows the 4 Teletubby heads, meaning these videos in particular are not from the past. They are being made explicitly for Teletubbies to watch, and the humans in these videos exist at the same time as the show, which obviously begs the question, what does the sun look like for these humans? Well, here's the strange thing about—
They never go outside. Dun, dun. Because the radiation turned the humans into Teletubbies, and they're not aliens. They're just deformed humans over years and years of nuclear warfare that ended the fucking human civilization, but other people started morphing and evolving into other non-human creatures. And now they're trying to remind themselves what their past was like. And so the real humans actually live underground because they weren't affected by the radiation. And then the sun, I still can't explain the sun. The baby has the conscious sun.
Videos. We never get to see the sun. In fact, the kids in these videos never actually go outside, which is very strange when you compare that to the years worth of previous human videos that are almost always outside. There does seem to be windows, but unlike the windows we see in previous videos or even in Teletubby Land, these are weirdly opaque, never actually showing us the outside world. The best we get is this obviously fake depiction of the sky on the ceiling. For some reason, these videos feel completely cut off from the outside world. Where are these people? Hang on a second. What if over the hills doesn't mean Teletubby Land is behind hills? What if Teletubby Land is literally over the hills, as in on top of them, and this room is somewhere deep underground?
Am I a genius? I mean, you know, I'm really putting 2 and 2 together here, Alex. I think me and you are on the same wavelength. I think I'm picking up what you're putting down, you know. And I think I'm really locked in on this theory.
Completely cut off from the outside world. And if that seems too far-fetched, remember where the speakers come from.
Underground! Underground! And it's not like a Bluetooth speaker, it's like they're speaking through a metal pipe.
Time for Tubby Bye-Bye. Time for Tubby Bye-Bye.
They come from underground. The speakers with a human adult voice telling the
And what if the Teletubbies are actually just gods? And they have to please them to keep them alive?
Teletubbies what to do.
There's a lot of options still on the board here.
Come from the same place where an adult woman wearing a Teletubby uniform makes videos. In the future world of Teletubbies, humanity lives underground. But why? Well, once again, I think this all has to do with the sun.
With the sun, baby. Stop. Why are they making it creepy?
Imagine a world where everything is normal. You go to work, walk your dog, watch YouTube videos, but then, one day, suddenly, without any warning or explanation, the sun wakes up. You realize that the giant ball of gas in the sky that gave humanity life was actually a cosmic sentient being all along. But it's not some
what I eat in a day TikToks are insane.
TikTok what I eat in a days have genuinely gotten out of control.
What you guys today for a little snack for dinner? I wanted to have something sweet, so I got 2 boxes of the crumble cookies, you guys.
That is a fucking heart attack. Brooke literally just got me 4 of those cookies, and they taste good as hell, dude. I eat 1 of those, and I feel fucking disgusting after. Like, I'm happy to eat them, and I enjoy eating them, but, dude, 1 of those cookies is, what, like 600 calories more? And that's what? That's a box of 2 boxes of 8?
You guys.
16 crumble cookies. I think if I ate 16 crumble cookies in one sitting, I would die. They're 1,000 calories. How much is a crumble cookie? Over 800. The semi-sweet chocolate one's like 700. Just so much saturated fat. It's just a heart attack. I don't actually think, bro, I don't think anybody actually eats like this, though. Can I say that? I understand there's people that are overweight and there's people that are obese, but I genuinely don't believe that there's anybody that orders 8 crumble cookies and eats them casually. I feel like a lot of it's for content. Because there's like, I don't want to say it's like a fetish or anything, but like the amount of people that love watching like mukbangs and watch people get morbidly obese. Like there are people that enjoy watching YouTubers like delve down this rabbit hole of like pure unhealthy dog shit. And no, seriously, like there are millions of views. Like there's 20 different YouTubers that make mukbangs, and not like regular mukbangs, like mukbangs where they just eat shit and just hordes of shit. It's not anything they would regularly eat, but it's like the content they make and it's how they make money, so they do it. But then they just start fucking gaining weight rapidly. Nikocado Avocado? Yeah.
Honestly,
I mean, not anymore. He's like healthier now, but
nothing could have prepared me for these meals these morbidly obese people are eating. And honestly, I was just left disgusted by the absolute gluttony on show. And I want to start by looking at the diet of the up-and-coming creator known as James Bowler, who loves to show off his little snacks, as he calls them.
Mood, you guys, today for breakfast for a little snack, we're gonna
whole box of Twinkies. Does he actually just eat all of them on camera, though? There's no way.
have a whole box of Twinkies and some milk. Let's get started. These are literally like my favorite snack. I can swallow them whole. The second one.
Bro, why do people want to watch this, though? Is there... No, seriously. Because it's not ASMR, you know? That's why I was saying it has to be, like, some weird... Like, the moaning. I'm telling you, bro, it has to be, like, some fetish content. Like, there's no way... Because I get the appeal of ASMR, where, like, somebody eats something that makes, like, a weird crunchy noise. Bro, what's that? You know that ASMR where they be drinking, like, slurp juices? Like this. That's satisfying. That's satisfying to watch. I get that. But that's not, like, necessarily unhealthy. It's just, like, this guy drinks stuff that's, like, satisfying in these weird tubes and stuff, and it's, like, cool to watch. But there's, like, that, and then there's just, like, actually just watching somebody eat a box of fucking Twinkies. Like, it's not...
And I mean, before we get into what he eats, it's pretty impressive that James doesn't actually fit into the frame of his camera. Like, he's literally so wide, we can't see how wide he is. But back to what he eats, in what world is this a light snack? 2 boxes of Twinkies with a glass of milk has around 3,800 calories, and James is just literally...
And just straight fat and sugar, man.
...inhaling them. And honestly, just making the most disgusting...
Dude, he's panning into it, though. There's no way he just makes that noise when he's eating it. You know what I mean? Like, nobody's moaning. This is just fat shaming. He's being rude, yeah. The point that he's trying to make of this being bad is not fat shaming. When he was like, he's so wide he doesn't fit in a frame, that's fat shaming. But, no, that is fat. Making fun of somebody because they're fat is fat shaming. Pointing out the fact that they're eating unhealthy and they're going to fucking die because they're eating unhealthy is not fat shaming. I've always said that. Right? There's a difference between being like, hey, this is terribly unhealthy, and then, hey, making fun of somebody because they're fat.
Noise as well doing so.
Yes, I got 2 because every time I finish these, those me quitan antojo, so I got 2 boxes. Remember, Balance is key. We're gonna be having a meal like this. Balance is key. Like, so we have some water. I wasn't gonna do Diet Coke, but I was feeling a little spontaneous today, so...
It's rage bait content. I really do believe it's rage bait content. I don't think he actually thinks this. There's no way he thinks a bottle of water is balancing out the crumble cookies that he's eating. You know? Like, it's to annoy people to bait engagement, which gains views and money. Like, that's what it is.
Have some water.
Looks pretty fucking good. No, that one looks pretty fucking good. Yeah, the moaning is really upsetting, right?
And this is a genuine question. Like, is this just some sort of fetish content? I just don't.
That's what I'm saying. What's with the moaning? What's with the moaning? Why we're eating a box of crumble cookies? It's like there's not a second of like silence.
I don't understand who this content is aimed at, and honestly, it's just sad to watch. I actually originally thought it was all rage bait, and there was no way that.
Oh no, I think it is. I think it's a mixture. I think it's like 80% rage bait and then 20% fetish content. Like that's because there's no. This isn't ASMR, right? There's no mic. He's recording on his phone. It's not like he's like eating it next to the camera or something.
Would actually eat this stuff day in and day out. But then you look at the size of him, and he clearly is. And he uploads one of these videos pretty much every single day.
Well, I think that's probably the cause, right? Like you could eat healthy outside of this and you would still gain weight. Like if you're eating 3 caramel cookies on camera, that alone's 1,800 calories. That's like a day's worth of calories.
Today for a little snack.
Like even just that. Like, dude, outside of this, he could just be eating straight salads and he'd still gain weight.
Snack for dinner. I wanted to have something sweet, so I got 2 boxes of the crumble cookies, you guys. I'm so excited. Let's get to this is the first box, you guys. Oh, look at that. Oh my god, I'm so excited. You know? The first one we have is the s'more brownies cookie. Look at that, you guys. Oh my god. Oh, that looks so good.
If you were curious about the calorie content of these crumble cookies, it's around 8,600 calories. And there's actually a guy that follows James and comments on pretty much every post he makes with a macro breakdown of what he eats. So this crumble
macro guy here, I just fell to my knees at all these. I have a family. I need James to start sticking to a diet. 432 grams of fat. Bro, that just clogs your arteries. 627 grams of sugar.
Cookie feast had over
speedrunning a heart attack.
627 grams of sugar and 432 grams of fat. And like I said, over 8,600 calories. And this is just beyond sickening. And it's actually a joke that Instagram allowed James to keep his platform and get paid for it. James is without a doubt eating himself to death. And the comments on his video.
Yeah, I mean, it's not on the same severity, but like, obesity is a food addiction. Like, that's what it is. Like, and it's one of the hardest I don't want to try and compare addictions, but the problem, and I've said this before, I'll say it again. The problem with food addictions is if you're addicted to crack, you stop doing crack, right? And it's really hard to get off of crack, but you stop doing crack. If you're addicted to food and you use food as a coping mechanism, you can't just stop eating. You need to eat to survive. So it's like, the limiting of that is really, really hard. Yeah, like stress eating as well. It's like, it's a mixture of stress eating and then just poor diet.
But know this as well.
Like poor diet and eating bad doesn't equate to morbid obesity. It's like a level of like binge eating.
Unfortunately, this dude is literally eating himself to death. He's no doubt a diabetic and on his way to a massive heart attack. With so many people out there struggling to beat cancer and all kinds of ailments, this guy is killing himself in the name of food. Incredibly very sad. The worst part about James is that brands and restaurants have actually started inviting him to their places, presumably offering him free food for a good review. Now I have to say, why would any restaurant want him to review their food? It seems like James would eat
publicity,
absolutely anything and give it a 10 out of 10.
Mood, you guys, we're right here at Juice Time in Tustin, California, and we're here to try out their sweets. Mood. These are the first 2. I think these are smoothies. This one was one of my faves. It tasted like cotton candy. This is a Dubai chocolate cup strawberry. 10.
Yeah, that shit looks fucking disgusting. Yo, that shit looks fucking disgusting. Oh my god. The Fruit Loops on the fucking... Yo, this actually just looks like straight sugar slop. This is like somebody just trying to be like, yo, this tastes really good. It's just packed with sugar. It's just, there's no part of this that's appealing.
I think these are smoothies. This one was one of my faves. It tasted like cotton candy. This is the Dubai chocolate cup strawberry. 10 out of 10, you guys. Everything is homemade. These are the mini pancakes. We have the Biscoff mini pancakes. 10 out of 10. They're Dubai chocolates. So big, you guys. 10 out of 10, you guys.
I suppose actually he is a good reviewer because none of the food will go to waste. But I just can't see how anyone...
All right, now, like, bro, like, I understand the point in, like, documenting the what I eat in a day TikToks, but, like, now we're just, like, tossing in jabs. Like, that's rude.
Would look at James and want to eat what he eats. In fact, I would be staying well away from anything that he eats. James also isn't the only one who's making a big impact on Instagram. And actually there's thousands of fat people sharing their what I eat in a day videos.
Everything I eat today as a fat girl.
This is Brandy Lee Snacks, who is unsurprisingly followed by...
Bro, who are the two fucking streamers that are gaining traction now? It's like, I understand it's like people laugh at it because it's funny, but it's like, dude, it's concerning. Like, that, yeah, Jay Bullen. And he acts like he's passing out. Yeah, Tismala and Jay Bullen. And they'll eat it and they'll go, oh! And they'll fall asleep or something. But it's like not, like it's a bit, but it's like, dude, like they're getting paid. And so it promotes that. But it's like, you know, I get why they do it. Like, I don't think they're in the wrong, but it just sucks.
James Bullen.
Because it's like, now there's no motivation. Like, it's like, hey, now we're getting money to eat like shit.
On Instagram. And she loves to share what she eats in a day. And actually starts every single day with a donut dipped in milk. Just to make sure that she has the worst possible breakfast every morning.
Kayla for the 1,000 buddies. I don't eat the best that I could stand to lose some weight. I just finished Kate watching. This makes me want to start a diet tomorrow. I mean, if you want to diet, you want to diet. I have no problem with I don't make fun of people for their weight and how they look. I always say, as long as you're healthy, that's what matters. You know, outside of that, if your blood test comes back and your blood pressure's fine, who gives a fuck? You know, like that's what matters, right? If your cholesterol levels are fine, if your blood level's fine, whatever, you know, like, somebody being like slightly overweight, there's nothing wrong with that, right? But like morbid obesity is different, where if it's like you're like 5'8" and 400 pounds, like that's like putting stress on your heart. Like you're gonna die when you're 35, right? Like that's the difference. I would assume you're still fine. Like I still eat cake, I still eat, you know, the fucking, what are those gancitos? Those are fucking good as hell. I eat those too much. But like, dude, like you can, I would say the biggest thing is like having a week's worth of calories. Like you have to fit that, like having, you know, 3 days of eating really healthy and then having a day where you have a bowl of ice cream or cake or something, that's fine. It's just like, you need a match. Like there has to be a level of consistency. And then you have days where you could take like, hey, I'm going to eat a bunch of cookies or brownie or whatever it is, you know. Gancito mentioned, those are good as fuck, man.
Iced chocolate milk. Like, look at that.
Looks like a dry ass. Like, look at that. Looks like a dry ass fucking baked good. Oh my god.
Like,
that does not...
look at that.
Well, it's a good thing she got sugar-free syrup because I was just thinking she was eating a lot of food, but that should balance it out.
And why are we dipping everything in milk?
Oh my god. These cookies are amazing.
I don't know. I think it shouldn't. How do you fix this, right? Because it's like, if they're making these videos that are a minute long and they're getting paid for them, you know, they're making fucking $100 a video. Like, why would they not want to do it? But you can't demonetize that because they're not really breaking TOS. Like, they're just eating food.
That jeans was nicely done.
The shits are insane. Oh my god, the diarrhea, bro.
Oh my god.
Straight diarrhea. Going into that bathroom. Liquid shits. Liquid shits later, bro.
She says she's starving.
It's on this level of self-harm. Yeah, but you can't. No, you can't. No, because if somebody... You can't, no, you couldn't put that in TOS because it would be discriminatory. Because then if I on stream ate 10 Twinkies, people would be like, damn, that's bad. Like Jinxie. Jinxie lost the Roblox 1v1 with me. He drank a 2 liter of Sprite. That's like 300 grams of sugar. That's self-harm. It's not COS, but it's like, if you see somebody that's morbidly obese doing it, then it's now considered that. Like, you know what I mean?
Despite eating about 2 days worth of calories, and honestly...
Roblox? Oh, no, Rocket League. Sorry.
It isn't surprising.
It's because I was playing Roblox with Steak.
And for one, when you're that big, you're going to need more food to feel full because her stomach will be physically larger. And 2, she had...
I don't think it's the stomach. I don't think it's stomach physically being larger. It's you're not consuming an amount of food that's going to make you feel full. You're eating high caloric density, low dietary fiber foods. Your shits are going to be rock hard. You're always going to feel like you need more.
So many calories from sugar.
You're going to digest it so fast.
And carbs that her blood sugar will be spiking and then crashing, which is leading her to be more hungry.
Your stomach gets bigger. Yeah, when you eat amounts of food, it's volume.
Than if she ate whole meals and a high protein diet. The comments in this video weren't happy with her either. That's like 2 days of food. Stop making all this normal. There's
more than 2 days of food. It's like 5. It's like 6,000 calories.
Nothing normal. All this sugar is poison. Health is the most important thing we have. This is literally self-harm. Someone even commented defending her, saying that she isn't normalizing this much food, but the trouble is that she's doing exactly that. By posting these videos, there will be other people saying this who eat like her, and when they see other people doing it online, it...
Thought I was done eating for the night. You make me hungrier. Were those hard-boiled eggs topped with CC? Or deviled eggs?
People doing it online, it normalizes it to them and makes them feel like they don't.
You know the type of food videos that I like? Brooke put me on. It's this teacher that eats the most disgusting shit every day for fucking lunch, bro. She'll make like onion cups and like this pizza with like mayo on it. Oh my God, it's disgusting. But it's like interesting to watch because it's not unhealthy food. It's just stuff that's like, I don't want, why? Courtney? Yeah, everybody just knew. Oh my God, it's so gross. It's like, it'll be like soup dumplings, and then just with like onion cups, I'm like, yo, that room has to stink. Like the students in that room when she breaks out her lunch Tupperware bin probably be like, what's her name? Yeah, I know her name's Courtney, but I need to like look up.
Life did not.
Oh, here it is. Courtney Cook. I need to find one that's like gross because she does make good food, but like some of them, it's just like, oof. It's like, oof.
Happy Monday. Okay, I have a big old sweet potato. Holy crap. Yeah.
This is just lunch.
Some green onions, some butter. Oh, Buddha K. What is that? Almost. Pick them up. Oh.
Just eating a potato. Just eating a potato and onions, bro. Like what is that called? Like a Baltic breakfast. I love watching those too. Some dude with just a bunch of onions and shit, and you just like just munching on them.
Won't need to change. If Brandy wants to literally kill herself eating that much food, then she should be allowed. But she shouldn't be allowed to be monetized on these platforms for it. And
I get that point where it's like you shouldn't be able to be paid for it, but I mean, there's so much worse shit that people get paid for on content. So.
Although Brandy only has 160,000 followers.
It's like if you demonetize this, you have to demonetize anything that's bad for you. And then like half of content in general is not monetizable.
Adi Gutierrez has almost double that follower count and seems to have an even worse diet.
What I ate today as a baddie. Cereal for breakfast.
I mean, again, she is just another influencer starting the day off with a massive bowl of sugar. I get cereal's convenient, and a lot of people watching this video will probably eat it, but just take...
Yeah, I used to eat cereal every day before school.
Some time to look at...
Some you gotta grow out of, though. I think, like once you're out of high school and you're eating... You can't be eating, like, just straight, like, Cocoa Pebbles for breakfast. That's, like, a dessert thing. I eat cereal for dessert now. Starting of the day, bro, you gotta be eating, like, egg whites, bagel, you know, some shit like that. Fruit, if you want sugar. Not like, or cereal, yeah, like Weetabix. Or even like mini wheats, bro. Like, that's like better, at least. You're getting like good calories.
How much sugar is in your breakfast?
Starting the day with a bowl of Trix
cereal, and I can guarantee you will be surprised. Like I said before, eating this sugary cereal is an awful start to your day, and it'll just leave you feeling hungry later. And then to make things worse, she has about 4 portions of it in just that one bowl.
Good morning, baddies.
Double Red Bull.
Sugar-free, of course.
Yeah, I gotta say, the original Red Bull flavor is fucking ass. It is so bad. And Red Bull did a great job marketing-wise with, like, relating Red Bull to, like, sports and, like, energy and, you know, even, like, most alcoholic drinks at bars, like mixed drinks, like shots and shit, use Red Bull. So, but that's also one of the reasons I hate it. Like, if I'm drinking and I smell Red Bull, it's not that bad. But if I'm, like, sober and I smell fucking just a regular Red Bull, I'm thinking of Jaeger bombs. And that shit, fucking gross. Gross. Sugar-free Red Bull, no. And the original flavor is just bad. What is that?
I made a quesadilla with hot Cheetos and hot mac and cheese. Hot.
Bruh.
Olipop.
Now, before she's even got changed out
Oh, that balances it out. That has prebiotics.
of her pajamas, she's probably honestly had about 2,000 calories in just an absolute mess of food. And I don't know if this is an American thing, but who puts Cheetos into a quesadilla? Now, it's a good thing she has those 2 Red Bulls because her
Dude, I've done that before. There was this, I went back when I used to do TikTok more. Dude, there was this one time I got home from a bar drunk and I felt unhealthy, so I just ate like 2 raw green bell peppers, and I was like, yeah, that'll probably balance it out. That'll probably balance it out. I had 2,000 calories worth of fucking alcohol.
energy levels will
Yeah, that'll probably do my stomach right.
be absolutely through the floor by the time it gets to dinner time.
Red. For dinner, I have some steak and some taters.
Yeah, can we eat it? Can we eat it with a fucking fork and a knife, bro? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Oh my god. Is that butter? Is that just butter, or is that... Wait, no, that's mashed potatoes.
SpongeBob. Delicious.
Now, is it just me that gets pissed off watching that? It's just the absolute height of gluttony, and it's honestly just gross to watch. And again, the comments are absolutely brutal on this post, with people asking if she's trying to have a stroke, and another even asked if this was a standard American diet.
Yup, that's how that's how everybody eats.
Now, I know this isn't the standard American diet, but actually 40% of Americans are obese, so it has to be at least...
Yeah, but bro, even the average obese American doesn't eat like that. The average obese American just eats like an extra meal of the day that's like ultra processed and unhealthy. Like, I feel like dieting is really hard, but like it's just a matter of cutting out like the shit, right? Like, people just don't eat fucking... Dude, just swap shit out. It's like people are like, oh, well, I don't want to diet, I'm hungry. But I'm like, you're hungry because you eat like fucking shit. Like, swap.
That some hotel operators in New York City would ask guests if they needed a room for sleeping or jumping out of. That's real. In the US, 1 in 4 people became unemployed, and wages for the remaining workforce were basically cut in half. Bread lines and soup kitchens became a common sight, and many people lost their homes and savings. One farmer of the day knew he couldn't afford to feed his sheep, so he slit their throats and threw them down a canyon instead of letting them starve. It's like,
wow.
What? They don't like sheep? The events of 1929 set off a decade of economic hardship that culminated in Earth's favorite pastime, World War. Number 5, 1601. If you take one thing away from this video...
Is that the witch trials? When were the witch trials? I was just in Salem. No, that was 1692.
It should be that volcanoes are bad. So bad, in fact, that one volcano in Peru basically turned the lights off for the whole planet. The eruption of Huayna Patina in 1600 was one of the largest volcanic events in recorded history, spewing vast amounts of ash into the...
Bro, I want to see the volcano eruption that's that big that it blacks out the sun from the whole world. One volcano erupting that much.
Atmosphere. The summer of 1601 was known as the summer with no sunshine. Sunlight levels dramatically decreased everywhere in the world, causing mass famine, but nowhere more so than Russia. The lack of sunlight led to crop failures and livestock death. A third of the Russian population starving to death in the 2 years following the eruption. No sunshine also meant it was extremely cold. So to keep warm, many in the region turned to killing any animal with fur they could find, not just for food, but also to create clothing and blankets. Accounts from the time describe people so desperate for food that they ate grass, their pets, and each other. Which means all of us are just one cloudy summer away from cannibalism.
I'm not eating my dog. That's the one thing I'm saying right now. I would not eat my dog. If I was starving, bro.
Number 4, 1940.
I will. You'll eat my dog or you're going to eat your dog. Javi, I'm telling you right now, you ain't eating my dog. I'm eating you before I'm eating my dog.
42. Not much to see here, just worldwide violence and genocide resulting in millions of deaths. At the tail end of 1941, Japan made a monumental strategic error and, not so elegantly, insisted that the U.S. become heavily involved in World War
Wait, which one is this? Oh, 1942.
II. This essentially turned America into a death factory, where every able-bodied human was either making stuff that killed people or just killing people.
And this is when we really became a war-based economy. Ugh.
The war effort mobilized entire populations, leading to the development of new weapons and technologies, including the Manhattan Project, which would cause all kinds of problems for future humans. Meanwhile, soldiers and civilians in Russia...
And it was a like, the Manhattan Project was terrible, but, like, even if the Manhattan Project didn't happen, nuclear bombs would still exist, right? It was just who's the motherfucker to make it first. Like, nuclear bombs exist whether or not Oppenheimer makes it. Right. Like the Russians would have made the bomb. At some point, China would have made a bomb. Japan would have made a bomb. Somebody would have made a bomb.
Russia and China were dying by the thousands every day. The brutal fighting on the Eastern Front and the Pacific Theater claimed millions of lives.
Dude, I used to think that, I mean, it's kind of incomparable because it depends on the battle, but I used to think World War II, like battling in World War II would be like objectively worse than like trench warfare in World War I. But trench warfare is fucking so scary, bro. I had somebody describe to me what trench warfare was like truly like, and being alive in that time, dude, evil. Because there was almost no rules. So it was do whatever the fuck you want. There would be gas that would come over and you would just suffocate from that. But more so, like, if you're in the trench, there's bombs going off constantly. Doom, 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 doom. You're getting shell shock. That's why they called it shell shock. It was PTSD. But it was called shell shock because there was constantly bombs going off. Humans are only made to endure high-stress scenarios for short spans of time. Because in a 5-minute span, like say there's a lion or something that's approaching you, you're genetically made to deal with that stress in that 5-minute span, and either you're alive or dead, and then you move on. But in World War I, during trench warfare, that was just all the time. There was nonstop bombs. So you were always in that high-stress scenario. And if you were still alive, you were just waiting to die. And when the bomb stopped, you would go, oh, we're good now. When the bomb stopped, that meant the other people were running at you. So if you're awake for 18 hours, you're getting an hour of sleep. Then you're awake for 18 hours. You're getting an hour of sleep. You're awake for 18 hours. And you hear silence, that means you have to run to your guns because the other guys are running to you to jump into your trench and kill you. And they're gassing you out. They're doing all this other shit. There would be guys, they would draft, say they had to get a letter from one trench to another or another part of the trench. They would give 4 guys the same letter and go, run. Because they knew that 2 of you at least weren't making it. So then if you were the one that made it and you didn't die, they'd give you another letter and they'd go, now run it back. And then you had to fucking try and run that shit back. And fuck that. Then it got to a point where they knew that the other guys were running over, so they would dig other trenches prematurely. And so when they heard the silence, they would run to the back trench before that one got flooded and then gun those motherfuckers down.
Germany continued its war crimes and genocide, so not great. Number 3, 1943.
It was also really bad in 1942, 1943, World War II in general. Like, one of the biggest things you'll hear people talking about is like, fighting the Japanese was really scary for Americans because even if they had the edge, the Japanese people wouldn't surrender. So if they ran out of ammo or knew they were going to die, they would just fucking run at your ass with a knife or a bayonet. Like, they would not give up. Like, they would just run at you. Vietnam was scarier too. Well, Vietnam, yeah, the fucking Well, Vietnam also, I'm not sitting here saying like Americans were the victims. Americans did horrible things too during a large majority of these wars as well. Like Vietnam, especially, Americans would mow down like innocent Vietnamese people. But in Vietnam, yeah, dude, there would just be traps. It was all just like jungle warfare.
Remember 1942? Like that. But again, 1943 saw some of the deadliest battles of World War II. The Battle of Stalingrad.
Yeah, dude, Vietnam especially, what was that one thing they would say? Vietnam message to U.S. speakers. Like it's like, you're gonna die, GI, or something is what it would repeatedly say.
During the Vietnam War,
all right, that's not what I want to
hear. Operation involves exploit the
It is a very good idea.
Imagine being in the jungle, bro. You're freshly 19, right out of high school, bro. They send your ass all the way across the world, and you're literally watching your fucking friends explode. And you hear this in the jungles.
Defect, GI. It is a very good idea to leave a sinking ship.
And you're covered in dirt. Half your friends are dead.
They lie to you, GI. You know you cannot win this war.
And you're there for no reason, too. Like, World War II, like, you're fighting Adolf Hitler, right? World War II, I don't support war in any way, but, like, Americans in World War II wanted to go to war. People would lie about their age to get into the army. Vietnam was the reverse lottery, bro. They pulled your name. That was a death sentence. Like, being in Vietnam had to have been one of the scariest fucking things ever. Like, having to fight on either side. Like, and dude, you're not even fighting you're fighting against communism. Like, you're not even fighting for, like, oh, the betterment of, like, people being, like, the Jewish people or something. Like, you're literally just going into Vietnam because your government's sending you. You would come back, and there were instances where, like, the soldiers were treated like shit, man. They didn't even like, it wasn't like they praised you when they came back, like World War II. It was so different.
Your rich leaders grow richer while you die in the swamp, GI. They will give you a medal, GI, but only after you are dead.
Like, bro.
Your government lies to you every day, poor soldier.
Like, dude, it's middle of the night and you're hearing that shit. Reverse. The U.S. would play U.S. sounds for Vietnamese people. The Vietnam, what was the tapes the U.S. would play on those big ass speakers to the Vietnamese guys in the tunnels? Yeah, they would spray shit with Agent Orange, and Agent Orange got people killed. There's a whole video on, like, pesticides and how Agent Orange, like, ruined people. Wandering Souls. Yep, there it is. The U.S. would play this for the people underground. Make you lose your mind so you'd run out of the tunnel and then they'd fucking shoot you in the face.
Stalingrad, one of the bloodiest battles.
People don't realize how, no, I'm serious. Like, you hear about, like, you learn about war, bro, at such, like, a basic level in high school. Like, that shit, bro, like, no, like, people go, oh, war's bad, you're killing people. It's beyond that, dude. It was psychological torture to have to fucking fight in any of these wars.
Battles in history ended in early 1943 with the defeat of the German army. This marked a turning point in the war, but came at a staggering cost of over 2 million casualties.
I always think, dude, being in D-Day, man, that had to be so fucking scary. Being a guy that was getting shipped on D-Day, World War II, you're on a boat, just running on Normandy Beach, watching hundreds of people get mowed down. Explain D-Day? Bro, how do you not, like, see, why do I have to explain? How do you not know? D-Day was when the U.S. were storming the Germans on Normandy Beach. And the Germans had these concrete structures that were hooked with, like, fucking, like, like big automatic machine guns. And they had all these spikes on the beaches, so you couldn't really drive up on them. You just had to drop the boat a little, like, far back, and they would jump off the boat into the water. D-Day boats. So they would be in these boats packed like sardines, and they would drive up to the beach. This hatch would open. They would all run out. All of them would die. Not just the U.S. I'm saying from the U.S.'s perspective. I know there was other countries involved. I'm saying U.S., Germany. Germany was the people that were defending. It's like Saving Private Ryan, yeah. And you would go Canada, France, Australia. Yeah, it was the Allies. It was the Allies versus the Axis powers, but I'm pretty sure the only people on the Axis powers were Germans. Was there Italians in D-Day? I don't know if they were on the lines in D-Day or on the defending side. No, I think it was just Germans up there. I don't know. I'm not a genius on D-Day. Anyway, somebody said this was boring. Fuck out of stream, bro. Who gives a fuck? Imagine, bro, the first waves of these boats of like, you know, all the Allied powers, literally all of them died. All of them died. Like, instantly. And the U.S. and the Allies' strategy was, we're just going to keep sending people. At some point, it was just numbers. It was a numbers game. We have more people than they can kill. And then eventually they got through.
In the Pacific, the Battle of Guadalcanal and the continued island hopping campaign resulted in massive losses on both sides. And Nazi Germany continued doing Nazi Germany things. So again, a horrible time. Number 2, 1347. Welcome to medieval times. You really can't say anything about the mid-1300s that doesn't involve the bubonic plague. In 1347, the Black Death began ravishing most of Eurasia and parts of North Africa.
You hear about the Black Death too, you just start getting black bubbles, growths on your body.
Within a few years, the plague killed roughly a third of Europe, which probably put a pretty big dent into the cappuccino and scarf industries. The plague was caused by a bacterium in the fleas of rats, and rats were basically the podcasts of the 1300s. Completely unwanted, but absolutely everyone had them. Death from the bubonic plague was swift, but painful. An infected person would develop horribly swollen lymph nodes, often accompanied by fever and diarrhea, and would usually be dead in under a week. Medicine of the time was primitive, to say the least. A popular cure for the plague included taking a healthy chicken, plucking its back and bottom clean, and then strapping it to the patient's open sores. The idea was if the chicken became ill, it was helping to pull out the disease from the patient.
Oh, bro, what? So they would try and move the illness from you to another creature?
Okay, let's check your chicken today. Oh, awesome, it's almost dead. You're doing great. This would be repeated until the patient or the chicken died. Often both in many cases. Chickens weren't the only...
What was the odds of living? If you had the Black Plague, what were your survival chances? Probably like 10%. No, I feel like it had to be higher than 0, chat. Come on. Survival chances were extremely low, up to an 80% mortality rate. So there were instances where people would survive. Survival depended heavily on the type of plague. Bubonic had an 18% survival rate, septicemic had a nearly 0, and pneumonic had a 0. The bubonic plague was the most common. You had about a 1 in 5 of living.
Only animal rubbed on boils. Plague doctors also tried rubbing cut-up pieces of snakes on them as well.
Awesome.
See, snakes were considered evil, and so was the plague. So the idea was that if evil things liked other evil things, putting the snake on a boil would trick the plague into following the snake and leave the patient's body.
Wow, so people were really fucking stupid at this time. That's absurd. Wow, that was like the best idea they had. Like, I would rather them go, let's pee on it. Like, I would rather them be like, yeah, you got a wound there. I'm going to pee on it. Then I'm going to rub an alive chicken's butthole on your fucking wounds. So it sucks the fucking... the fucking sickness out.
Another cutting-edge cure for the Black Death was eating crushed emeralds. People who couldn't afford emeralds would drink arsenic or mercury instead, which probably was just a little less effective than the chicken and the snake. All the anguish from this pandemic began to pull society apart at the seams. Many people took the chaos of the situation as an opportunity to steal from the sick and weak. Needless to say, people were so...
From the sick and weak, bro. If you were one of the guys that lived, you were just straight rolling in it, bro. You just steal everybody's shit. Half the households ain't got anybody in them anymore. They're dead.
So scared to help one another, many were left to die alone in misery. It took centuries for Europe and other parts of the world to recover from the mass destruction of the Black Death. Number 1, 5...
Yeah, I could easily see, dude, if you're in the UK, over half of London dies. Like, you're going to need 30, 40 years to just rebuild society.
36. This is essentially a greatest hits of all the worst moments from human history. Things kick off with our old friend the supervolcano, which sent a cloud of volcanic ash over the entire northern hemisphere. This left most of the world in virtual darkness for 18 months, brought the global temperature down 30 degrees, and caused, say it with me, widespread famine. Things were extra bad in China, where dust rained to the ground by the handful, and 70 to 80% of the population died. The lack of sunlight led to crop failures, starvation, and social unrest. But wait, there's more! On top of extreme
Yeah, that's pretty scary, dude, living in like perma-darkness.
food scarcity, a plague broke out in Europe. People would break out in pus-filled boils before perishing by the thousands, making disposal of the bodies impossible. Bodies were heaped in piles or thrown into the sea, only to wash back up days later. And the southern hemisphere wasn't spared. To make things worse, 536 had a powerful El Nino that warmed the waters off the South American coast, killing fish stocks, flooding the coasts, and you guessed it, causing widespread famine. So yeah, 536...
Oh my god, dude. People are literally just like constantly on the... I feel like societies pre like 1600s were just constantly on the brink of death like every 50 years. Like, oh my god. Out the bad stuff for like vegetables, man. Like if you eat 2 cups of cooked broccoli, you're full for so long, you know? But if you're eating a fucking processed sandwich of sorts with like white bread, meat, cheese, and then fucking just like mayo, you know, and then on top of that, you're having like a bag of chips. Like that's gonna fucking flood right through you.
Similar to what a lot of people are eating. Now, the reason I get annoyed at these videos isn't just because of the fat. And despite...
Does the FDA even do their job? Dude, the FDA just ensures that shit is like safe to eat. They don't really like restrict people. And even on that, the FDA is so loose with US rules. Like the majority of the stuff that we have is like highly processed with like chemicals and other preservatives that other countries can't have.
What people online might think, I don't hate fat people. I get annoyed at these videos not just because they're normalizing these awful diets, but because they're being rewarded for it too. Like I showed with James Bowler before, not only do they get free meals, but they get paid by these platforms in the form of ad revenue. Addy has over 300,000 followers on Instagram and over 500,000 on TikTok, posting pretty much every day on these platforms. So it isn't a stretch to imagine that she'll be earning multiple thousands.
No, she ain't making that much money, bro, and I'm sure of it. I did short form, bro. She ain't making fucking 30 grand posting these videos, dude. 7,000 likes. 7,000 likes. That video probably made $15. That video made about $15. Like, you're not... Short form media pays about fucking ass. Nothing. 7,000 likes, dude. 7,000 likes on a minute video. Even if you had like 200k views, $40. Tops. Probably like 5.
Over 300,000 followers on Instagram and over 500,000 on TikTok, posting pretty much every day.
Yeah, 200,000 views on a minute-long video. What I ate in Disneyland. She's not even making the money back for what she paid for the stuff. I mean, you know, granted, she's writing it off if she knows what she's doing. So she's writing off the food that she's eating because she's filming it for a video. But still, it's like, it's not offsetting the fact that you're still just like burning money
on these platforms. So it isn't a stretch to imagine that she'll be earning multiple thousands a month. And then other people with poor...
40 cents per 1,000 views. Carson, if you think that anyone is getting 40 cents per 1,000 views on any platform, even YouTube, you are widely mistaken. Mr. Beast would be the richest man in the world if he got paid 50 cents per 1,000 views. Are you crazy?
Diets will see this.
Most of the time, like, my CPM, wait, actually, no, I think you're right. 50 cents per 1,000 views on TikTok is crack. It's probably like 3 cents, 2 cents, maybe a penny. On, what do I get on YouTube? It varies by video. How do I see that? Yeah, CPM on YouTube, anywhere is between like 4 and like 8. So like $4 1,000 views.
And start recording.
That's YouTube on hour-long videos. On TikTok, regular CPMs gotta be like less than a penny.
On themselves eating, thinking that they can make money while eating. And then the only way they get attention by doing this is by eating bigger and bigger meals, which just puts more strain on the health and society. And then when people like Addy get more money, it's pretty obvious what to spend it on.
Facebook pays hella good then, that's what I make. Meta pays more. On Facebook in general, they just jam ads, and the ads are more valuable because the audience is older, and older people buy more products. The older your audience, the more money you make for ads.
What I ate
16-year-old's a lot less likely to buy a product than a 35-year-old.
today as a fatty.
Good morning, fatties. I got a Core Power and Heavenly Hunks cake batter flavor. So that's my breakfast. We got In and Out.
Yo, but who's literally hype as fuck? Like, yo, the In-N-Out video just released. Oh my god, I can't wait to watch 3 minutes of just straight silence and... Oh my god, you guys. Oh my god, you guys. This triple-decker burger. Oh, it's so good. Like, why would you want to watch that? Bro, the noises make me frustrated. Like slurping. Ew. Ew. That's some shit. Yo, this is the motherfucker that's ordering. Yo, when we did that Doug challenge and a motherfucker ordered Frank's fries at Taco Bell, that looks gross. That looks fucking disgusting. No, actually, if you ever have the money and you want to do some dumbass challenge with your friends, do the Doug challenge. Go, yo, I'll have what the person in front of me ordered. And I guarantee you 8 out of 10 times they're going to order the most gross ass meal. Bro, what happened to a motherfucker ordering just a regular burger? What is that? What is that? What is that pink slop on top of those fries? Those are wet. You're dumb as fuck. That looks so good. Yo, that's the problem with the United States, man. Genuinely. Genuinely. You think that looks good. Dude, those fries look bland as hell. They're covered in cheese sauce and they're wet.
They always stick together anyway.
Your mother's so old that her breast milk is powdered. You breastfeed like this.
We got a hot cocoa beignet and a peppermint candy beignet. Let's taste them. Here's one. Don't like it already. Okay. Okay, hot cocoa. That one's pretty good. Trying a normal beignet, but they've been sitting for like an hour or two, so they're not that good. Okay, well that was it for my very short and sweet what I eat in a day.
Notice how none of the food she ate this day is home cooked. And that is something that she does all the time.
Bro, I don't think it needs to be home cooked, bro. That shit just looks... Bro, that is actually just fucking slop.
Because she can afford to eat out all the time.
That looks so bad. Yo, I'm getting mad at the chatter that said that looked good. I'm sorry. Yo, those look like the worst fries ever. They're fucking pale. They look frozen. They look cold. They're sticking together. Dude, are you insane? Those look so bad.
The sad thing about a lot of these accounts is that people actually support them. And it isn't just other obese people who want this unhealthy lifestyle normalized, but it's actually people that get turned on by it. I found one account during the research of this video by a guy who said he was taking his fitness journey seriously, while literally bragging and holding his belly, showing off how fat he'd gotten. And the comments in the video are all love hearts and calling him perfect, while he's literally killing himself by eating massive amounts of food. And although this guy's videos are clearly fetish content, the video that Addy and the others make also feed people's frankly disgusting fetishes, although maybe not directly, but it's still...
It also is like a snowballing effect of people compare their health to those around them a lot of the time. And if everybody around you is absurdly unhealthy and you're also witnessing these people be really, really unhealthy online, it actually makes you feel better about your own health. In like a weird Schadenfreude, you know, pleasure from other people's pain. You're witnessing this person like eat themselves to death. And you're like, oh, you know, maybe I'm not that unhealthy.
Just as bad. It's blatantly obvious too, because when they post a video that doesn't go viral, the only people that are commenting are from men, just posting heart eye emojis about her. And I mean, a feederism fetish has got to be one of the worst that I can possibly imagine. I just can't imagine finding somebody eating their body weight in food attractive at all.
What I ate today as a fatty. For breakfast, we got cookies.
I don't know. I think like the fat phobia of seeing somebody post this and then making fun of their weight isn't what should be said, right? I think a problem with the social media trends today is like when you see this type of stuff, it's like, okay, well, obviously you shouldn't be like, you go girl, you know, eat the 5,000 calories. You at the same time shouldn't make fun of them, right? Because it's like, that's fucking weird, right? But it's like, hey, like, you should probably stop eating like this. you know, like that this is gonna kill you at some point.
So good. Pizza. The edges are
like in the same sense, bro. Like if I smoke, bro, y'all don't make fun of me, but you're like, that's bad, right? It's bad, right? Smoking causes cancer, right? If I smoke weed, that's bad for me, right? I'll say that, but it's like there's a difference between like being fat phobic and then being like, hey, this is unhealthy.
Crispy, but you know, it's a little limp. We're just gonna like fold it up.
Like, Addie there is just eating donuts and fried chicken for breakfast with what I'm assuming is a full sugar drink. Probably over 1,000 calories in the meal. And people find that attractive? I'm picking on Addie here because she's one of the most popular in the niche. But she doesn't actually have as insane meals as some other people who post their what I eat in a days, like Heather Ryan does on TikTok. Does anyone believe that she only had one piece of chocolate?
Every shoe, every color. Yeah, when you're famous, it can be kind of fun.
What's in that, dude?
Shoe, every color. Yeah, when you're famous, it can be kind
of
fun. It's really you, but no one ever discovers. In some ways, you're just like all your friends. But on stage, you're a star. You get the best.
Now this is weird because it looks like she just had cheese balls with sweet potato fries, and then a big sundae to finish it off. Like, there's actually no real meal in there. But this isn't the end of the world, as long as she doesn't have too much food afterwards.
Bro, it's like, I don't know. Like, this isn't, are these mozzie sticks? What is that? Like, the potatoes and the peas aren't that unhealthy. Like, I mean, they're seasoned, maybe covered in butter, but, like, that's not bad.
Never mind. And if anyone was wondering, she actually had 18
egg rolls. They looked a little thin to be egg rolls.
Potatoes on that plate. Heather seems to think that her massive weight is a bit of a joke as well, and actually seems proud about the fact that she eats this much food.
I want my ladies to show.
I think, dude, and that's what I'm saying. I think there's a difference between being proud of your body and then being, like, being aware of the health thing, right? Like, I don't think anybody that's overweight should feel ashamed in their body, right? As long as you're healthy, that's all that matters. But it's like, don't sit there and then eat 5,000 calories on camera and be like, I'm doing fine. Like, no, that's bad.
Off their jawline.
You shouldn't be proud of being unhealthy. Well, there's a difference between people that are just overweight and then unhealthy, right? Like, being, like, 30 pounds overweight doesn't mean that you have heart problems. But then it's like, okay, now you're eating 6,000 calories a day. That's going to kill you.
If you laugh, you go into hell.
She will probably be over 350 pounds at this point and shows no signs of caring about losing weight. So, as sad as it is to say, I wouldn't be surprised if she suffers a medical emergency.
But it's just hard, man. Like, if you have, like, a friend that's, I mean, whether it be you, I'm not making fun of you, chat, genuinely. Like, if you're overweight, I've seen no problem with it. But it's like, from the perspective of a friend, like, you probably know somebody in your life that's overweight. It's hard to bring that up to them because it's like, they're going to perceive it as being judged, you know, when you're perceiving it as, like, caring. It's like, I don't want to say it's easier. It's never easy to bring up, like, a friend's addiction. But it's like, I honestly think it'd be easier to be like, hey, man, you should stop doing cocaine. Versus like, hey, man, you're kind of fat. Because, like, imagine from that person's perspective. Like, if you're like, somebody that does a bunch of cocaine. And your friend comes to you and they're like, you should stop doing coke. You'd probably go, you're right, man. Versus your friend coming up to you and being like, hey, man, I'm kind of concerned. You know, you're getting pretty heavy. And, like, that's getting to a point where, like, you might have a heart attack at a young age. You might get diabetes. Like, your friend there's no nice way to bring that up. You know what I mean? Like, how do you nicely bring up to your friend that, like, you think they're going to die young because they eat too much? You can't. Like, so you just sit there and it's like, you know, like, you love the friend, but it's like, what do you say? So you want them to lie? No, you just don't bring it up. That's the problem. So then everybody sits there and you watch that happen, right? Whether it be you or your other friends, your friends are like, I'm letting you know if that's you, your friends know, and they've talked about it, right? I'm being dead ass. If that's you, right, your friends want to bring it up to you, but they don't. Not because they don't care. It's just like, how do you, in a non-rude way, tell your friend you think they're getting to an unhealthy level of weight. You can't.
In the near future. Honestly, I haven't got
That's so sad. It's a problem in the US, man. Like, you just can't bring it up.
much else to say about these fat TikToks. I just find them disgusting, and I seriously hope that TikTok and Instagram stops these creators from being able to monetize themselves eating massive amounts of food and normalizing obesity.
Because they know, you know, it's not like they're oblivious to it. It's like, so it's like you're just bringing something up that's like, it's just going to come off as rude. Like, if you have a friend that gains 50 pounds in 2 years in just fat, like not muscle, like you're going to witness that and you're going to be like, oh, wow. Like like in your head, you're going to go, you know, you should probably lose weight. But like, you're not going to say that to them because that's fucked, right? It's like, even if you're coming from a caring perspective.
I will say it is
gotta be real with them. I mean, yeah, but it's just like, I get it being tough.
Just Instagram and TikTok that allow this now. YouTube actually demonetized my video about the craziest meals in my 600-pound life because they want to steer people away from me.
Telling your friend that's addicted to cocaine is the same thing? No, see, here's the problem. You tell your friend that they're addicted to cocaine and they need to stop. They could just stop. But if you tell your friend that you think they're overweight, then they're gonna feel they're gonna feel like insecure eating around you. You know what I mean? Like, anytime they ever eat unhealthy around you, they're going to feel insecure, right? They're going to feel like you're judging them, right? Even if you're not, right? That's the problem. It's like, if you tell your friend you should stop doing cocaine, he's going to be like, yeah, I should probably stop doing cocaine. And you could judge him when he does coke. You could be like, you shouldn't do that, right? And now imagine you tell your friend, hey, man, like, I'm getting concerned about, like, your weight. Like, I think you should lose weight. Then you and him go out to eat fucking 3 months from then, and he orders, like, cheesecake for dessert. In the back of his head, he's going to be like, this guy's judging me.
Making this type of content. It just means
quitting cocaine isn't that easy. I know, dumbass. I'm saying it's easier to fucking judge somebody for doing coke than it is for fucking eating a cheesecake, okay? I'm saying, like, do you understand the point that I'm trying to make? I'm saying your friend's not going to feel insecure when it like, your friend already knows coke's terrible, right? If you're doing cocaine, you know that's fucking horrible for you. But if you're eating a cheesecake, you could reasonably be like, all right, that's not bad for me. Even if you're like on a diet, right? People that are losing weight still eat bad here and there, right? You're giving yourself a cheat meal, right? But they're constantly going to feel like bad about eating around you.
I need to be a bit more careful.
It's like this fucking, it's like an unseen, like it's such a complex problem that on surface levels, like, just tell them they need to lose weight. It's not that easy.
What I say in videos. Now, this was a bit of a different style of video for me, and if you want me to look at more What I Eat Today TikToks, let me know and send me some on Instagram at BigCraigYT. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a video. And if you like this...
Oh my god, man. That was like a really upsetting video, dude. Feeder content, nobody makes noises like that when they eat. Oh yeah, no, if you're moaning, I'm not a food addict, I'm an alcohol addict. Imagine if I made What I Drink in a Day videos that were me slamming shots of Everclear. That's what I'm saying. It's normalized. It's normalized. If you're like, what I drink in a day, and then it's like you're just fucking on your 15th beer on a fucking Wednesday, you'd be like, yo, you're an alcoholic. Like, that would be like, you're like, dude, you're killing yourself. Like, this is bad. Right? But with food, it's like it's such an obscure problem because you need to eat. And everyone eats like shit. Right? It's just the level and consistency of shit people eat that skews the numbers. And then it's like, okay, well, what do you say? Why aren't actors ugly anymore?
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
Bill Murray was 33 when he shot Ghostbusters.
That's right, boys.
And I gotta say, Bill Murray is an unconventionally attractive man. Before we get into why aren't actors ugly anymore, I'm gonna do a bit of Bill Murray glaze here. I don't think Bill Murray's ugly. I think Bill Murray is a black pill 4, right? Sub 5. But I think the way he puts himself on is like an 8. You know who's really attractive? And I always glaze this guy. From the Fallout show, Walton Goggins. I think Walton Goggins is one of the few men that can rock the horrible hairline. And he is also, I think Walton Goggins is like a 9. Like, Walton Goggins is a very attractive man, but he's unconventionally attractive. He has a very bad hairline, and he doesn't really... I think it's like his facial symmetry is very nice. He has a good bone structure. Now I'm glazing.
This is what actors in their 30s and 40s look like. But something has changed since then, because actors that age
Facial surgery and Botox. Large-scale facial surgery from the Hollywood's greatest to try and keep themselves looking the same that they did in their 20s, to where when they're like 50, they start looking like dolls. And it's scary. Like, I love a man in Hollywood that owns the wrinkles, you know? Like, owns the wrinkles. There's a lot of older women in Hollywood that do it. And I think a lot of women in Hollywood don't go overboard. I think a lot of women in Hollywood get like base Botox to kind of like get rid of like the crow's feet. But like, I'm never going to judge what people want to do with their face. And this is kind of me, it's sounding like I'm judging. But like, Ryan Gosling does a lot. He has a lot of, I don't know if this image is edited, but like his face is more puffy from what he's done. You know, like, I still think he looks great, but it's like there becomes a point where it's like, okay, you look like a 50-year-old that's making themselves try to look 30 versus like, I think you can look great as an aging man or woman, right? Who's like an older actor that doesn't do Botox or like facial surgery stuff? Like, maybe like Ashton Kutcher, but he's also not that old. Jack Black. Jack Black was never... I'm more talking about, like, guys that were considerable heartthrobs, you know? Like, people that were, like, you know, praised for their attractiveness. Whereas, like, Jack Black, I think he's obviously great-looking man. Stunning. Stunning. Has cheetah eyes. But, you know, he was never praised for his attractiveness. He was praised for his acting abilities, his singing... how, like, cool he was. William Dafoe. Yeah. William Dafoe does it well, too. Yeah. Like, I think he looks good. I know he's old, but he looks like, it's like, I fuck with that, you know? Like, dude, that was like the uncanny shit was that Dunkin' commercial. Can we watch that real quick? And then we'll get back into it. Like, I know they CGI de-aged everybody, but it was fucking creepy. But, like, they made all of them, oh, my God, like Joey, what is his name? Not Joey Tribbiani. Well, that's who he plays, but I always forget his actor's name. Dude, that's creepy. No, the worst one is Jennifer Aniston. They make Jennifer Aniston look scary. When she shows up, bro. Like, she looks like a doll. The way they CGI her face. Oh my God. It's just, I think that's one of the reasons why actors aren't ugly anymore. But like, it's also just this obsession with looks on social media, especially short form media now, where I think a lot of people that get opportunities, it's like the foot in the door is no longer the acting ability, it's the look. I think Hollywood is so much more now about like, we want a guy that's going to look good, right? But it gets unrealistic. You know what I mean? Like, now we have, like, Timothée Chalamet. I'm not saying he has this, but, like, Timothée Chalamet did Marty Supreme. I think he did a great job. You know, blah, blah, blah. The promotion was awesome, right? But, like, you could have, like, Timothée Chalamet playing a regular New York taxi driver. Totally unrealistic. Totally unrealistic. Let's get a guy that actually looks like a fucking New York City taxi driver, okay? Let's get a regular guy off the street and fucking cast him. Why are we trying to make people... Why are we fitting these, like, 10 out of 10 actors... in terms of attractiveness to like just like an average role? We're like, yeah, this guy's definitely gonna just be flipping burgers. No.
today don't look like this anymore.
I lost my hand!
They look like this. Or like this. Actors today...
Yeah, 35? What the fuck?
Today need to have great hair, perfect skin, and be in flawless shape. They don't look like regular people anymore. They look like supermodels. This isn't every single actor.
No, they look like supermodels, and then there's like this weird diverging role, right? It's like older movies from like 2010 and before. You had people that were really attractive. You had the average looking guy or woman. And then you have like people that get cast in ugly roles, right? Like, they did it a lot in Disney. They did it a lot in Nickelodeon. They do it a lot in, like, comedy movies where, like, they literally cast somebody to be the ugly guy. Now, it's, like, really attractive people, average extras, and then ugly people as roles. I always wonder that, too. I'm like, that sucks to be cast as, like, the fat guy in a role. I always wonder if that upsets them, you know? Because there's so many movies where it's like, they literally cast you as the ugly fat guy. But that's your role. Like, you're not a main character. You're just like a side scene for 5 minutes where it's like, oh, look how ugly and fat this guy is. And then they move on.
But it's clear there's been an overall change in how A-list performers look. And it's also how they're shown to the camera, like in low lighting and with more vibrant colours. They're surrounded by other people, and on an actual set, rather than a green screen.
Everything's under control, situation normal.
You're probably going to say this is because of a wider trend of movies looking bland and flat nowadays, and things like bad lighting, dull colours, and the Netflixy look make basically everything in modern movies look worse. And also, we can't ignore cosmetic surgery.
As my plastic surgeon always said.
But if you look at movies from before the millennia, it's hard to deny that the actors looked more like regular people.
Keep it still back there, lady, or else we're gonna have to shoot you.
I feel like maybe, do you think that it's also just the lack of average-looking people getting into acting? Because all the people that I know now in social media and just also in my life that get into acting are like 8 out of 10 or higher. I think like so many people that love theater and want to get into acting are like shunned at a young age because they don't fit like this beauty standard, even if the skills are there.
Okay, so the word ugly is a bit harsh, and I'm not trying to objectify.
Yeah, no, I don't think ugly. It's like that people in Hollywood don't look real. Like, am I crazy to say there's an uncanny level of attractiveness where somebody is so good looking that it's actually a turnoff? Like, you don't look real. It's that good. And it's like, okay, no, like you look like a doll, like actually like a doll. Like they've sculpted you.
Or body shame anyone. Most people who are cast in movies aren't unpleasant to look at. I just mean that they have bodies and faces that theoretically belong to a normal person without the aid of personal trainers, dietitians, and plastic surgeons. They look like normal everyday people you could see walking down the street.
I need a man who has powerful friends.
Bruce Willis, Bill Murray, and Jack Nicholson aren't bad-looking guys, but they have a sort of everyman appeal that we just don't see in today's
Yeah, you would walk past them on the street and not bat an eye.
Stars.
Saw it on the television.
And I love that because I think that brings you into the movie, you know? When it's just like a regular handyman that becomes this agent or something, and he's like a 10 out of 10. I'm like, bro, the average roofer that I hire to do a job is not going to look like fucking Brad Pitt, right? He's going to be a big gut, blue collar man that's going to fucking staple some paddings to my roof, you know? He's going to look like an everyday guy I walk past on the street.
Big part of this is that today, people just generally look younger.
Physical. Clean. Hey.
I think people look younger. I think people get work to look younger. And I also think the average person today is better looking too. Can I say that? I think like every generation looks better than the generation before it. Maybe that's also a fashion thing. Like if I look back at like pictures of 30-year-olds in the 1950s, they look weird to me because they're wearing like fucking clothing that isn't in style anymore. Isn't that the point of evolution? Yeah, like natural selection to a degree. But I also think people are better at holding themselves and like, you know, making themselves look the best that their potential enables them to.
26.
There's a great Vsauce video from a few years ago that goes into this in more detail. Essentially,
we watched that. That was a really good video too. What, that people look older?
In more detail. Essentially, the clothes and overall style has changed, and combined with better medical care, nutrition, and less smoking, people are healthier and better looking.
Guess I started smoking when I was about 4.
Healthier is a debatable question.
So here's a few age comparisons that highlight this in action.
My mom was already dead then from lung cancer.
Gene Hackman is 44 here. Actors in their mid-40s today look like this.
Are we soulmates?
Or like this.
And that's nuts, man. Like, I know for a fact in my mid-40s, I'm not going to look like that. I'm going to look so much worse. Like, it is unreal, dude. He looks 32. Like, how old would you say, genuinely speaking, chat, how old do you say Chris Evans looks there? 34 tops. Mid-young 30s.
Or like this.
Not 39.
There's quite a big difference.
Just a little slap.
Sylvester Stallone was 30 when he first shot Rocky.
Look at his face.
A comparable actor today would be Timothée Chalamet at 29.
Young pop.
But they play very different types of characters. If we want to be fair, let's compare two all-American action stars.
Drop it, dickhead.
Glenn Powell, 35 in Twisters, and Bruce Willis, 33 in Die Hard.
Bro, Glenn Powell will still play the young love interest in like a 2026 rom-com. They were not casting 35-year-olds to do that 20 years ago.
Robert Pattinson was 35 when he played Batman, and Michael Keaton was only 2 years older.
Bruce Wayne.
Are you sure?
But Keaton has visible lines around his mouth, his hair has receded a bit, and he has a subtle 5 o'clock shadow that doesn't feel purposeful. But Pattinson, even though dressed up to look sleep-deprived and reclusive, has a chiseled jaw and perfect skin. Overall, he looks a lot younger.
That's interesting.
But there's something more at play than actors simply looking older in the past.
Frank, they're not here for you.
Do you think it's the makeup too? They still were doing crazy makeup in the 90s. Like, that can't be what it is. They're not making them look younger in the film.
It's the kind of faces that have changed too.
Weird Al Yankovic is on the plane.
It's the everyman look, receding curly hair or imperfect skin. And it's because of these distinct features that characters had a stronger sense of personality just by looking at them.
Do you have any hobbies?
I collect spores, molds, and fungus.
But before we continue, let's take a moment to thank today's sponsor.
Dude, I gotta rewatch all the Ghostbusters films. I think that it's ugly people trying to get into acting and then they never make it because they look bad. But they don't look bad. It's like there's so many roles in acting that need to be filled, right? There's so many people going into acting. It's like this bottleneck effect where there's like, 10 roles but 100 people applying. But even then, it's not like, oh, it's because they don't fit the bill. Like, there's so many average people that need to get cast for roles, but it's just like they're picking like 10s now for fucking main characters.
In the opening of Once Upon a Time in the West, we meet 3 characters who don't survive the end of the scene. But they all have an interesting look. Al Mullock has long hair blowing across his face and vibrant blue eyes. Jack Elam has the long eyebrows and beard that goes down his neck. And then Woody Strode looks completely different, with a square jaw and a piercing look. From their faces alone, we can get a level of understanding to their character. It's hard to put into words, but we get a feeling that this guy is going to behave differently to this guy. And then compare them to the station manager. We can understand the dynamic just from the way they look. You can say this is down to great casting, and to some extent it is, but ultimately, it's just these guys' faces that carry the entire 15-minute opening.
Oh, well, I suppose it'll be alright.
Yeah, like he just looks like a disheveled old man. Like this guy looks like some dude you would see on the side of the road in New York City.
It'll be alright.
It's the same with the heads of the 5 families in The Godfather. Sure, they all look like mob bosses, but they have small differences in their appearance.
You're all grateful.
Wow, I love like the YouTuber breakdowns that these guys, or not the cinephile breakdowns that these YouTubers do. Like, I love these analyst movies. I never think, because it's like such subconscious shit that you don't even think about until they bring it up. Where it's like, wow, the mob bosses really are very similar, but like the mustache and the slick back hair is different. A cinephile, that's somebody that loves movies.
It's the same with the heads of the 5 families in The Godfather. Sure, they all look like mob bosses, but they have small differences in their appearance.
You're all grateful to Don Corleone for calling this meeting.
How they style their hair, the type of suit they wear, and how fat they are, all goes a long way to tell us about their character.
He had all the judges and politicians in his pocket.
And this isn't just limited to side characters. Even the leads in the past had a more interesting look. They didn't all look like supermodels.
You look like 40 miles of rough road.
This is people like Sissy Spacek, Leslie Nielsen, and Cher. They simultaneously look like a normal person, but also have a unique look.
Completely normal individual.
Kurt Russell in Escape from New York was big, but in shirtless scenes his abs have little definition. Bruce Willis was handsome, but his receding hairline and modest muscles retain a sort of everyman look. And compare how Hugh Jackman looked in the first X-Men film in 2000 to Deadpool Wolverine.
Yeah, he looks better. It's like, How does Hugh Jackman in his 20s look more average than now?
So what is the effect of this? What is the
fucking ripped six-pack? Looks like he's on steroids.
effect of seeing these regular looking people on screen? And how does seeing interesting faces work to make a movie better? Let's take a look at a few examples.
What have you done to it? What have you done to its eyes?
This is Mia Farrow in Rosemary's Baby.
I'm Rosemary Woodhouse.
As the film progresses, she cuts her hair
rather than accuracy.
Oh, do you think rappers would make the list? I don't know. I feel like you have to be like emotionally in touch to be a rapper, like in some way. Even if you're demented, it's like you have emotions. King Von? Yeah, but King Von had emotions. I think he was like a very aggressive individual. But psychopaths can be aggressive. They just don't have empathy.
Empathy becomes a major liability. Television rewards narcissism. Do I care more about the truth of the matter or about what will cause more outrage and get more clicks? Kevin Dutton said it best. Psychopaths are social predators who charm, manipulate, and ruthlessly plow their way through life. So naturally, when you put these people behind a camera, they don't debate, they hunt. Take Jordan Peterson's interview with this bitch whose name I couldn't be bothered learning. He went there under the guise of having a friendly, cordial discussion about his new book. She ends up trying to tear him a new asshole, very unsuccessfully might I add, and saying to him minutes before going live, this will be quite the war. Sick, twisted, attention-hungry people. The more outrage they cause, the more views. And the more views, the more validation for people who feel nothing inside. Speaking of what's on the inside, number 5 is actually surgeons. The superheroes of the psychopaths. You need to realize, throughout medical school, these guys are trained to no longer view the human body as a person's body. They need to view it more like a machine. Different systems, different parts.
I don't know. Could you say that like surgeons psychopaths? Or yeah, they probably have a higher level of psychopaths for sure, and it's also like a high level of success and money that comes with it. So I get people going into that field for the monetary gain versus like, caring about saving lives. But I also feel like some surgeons that aren't psychopaths might test higher on low empathy ratings just because they've become numb to the job. Like if you've seen 500 people die on a fucking operating table, like at some point it means nothing. Like the weight becomes less.
That's all. The people who do this the best, the ones who can completely emotionally detach. Just think about what these guys do on a regular basis. Slicing through skin, cutting through bone, operating on young children. And when it's all over, no crying, no celebrating, just moving on to the next patient. And one of the major attractions for those with psychopathic traits, you're basically playing God. Mix intelligence, status, and control over life and death, you're practically writing a love letter to psychopathy. As Kevin Dutton notes, psychopaths aren't all killers. Some of them are saviors. They just so happen to save you.
Dude, I can't imagine having to do like open heart surgery, man. I kind of feel like it might actually be better you have a psychopath doing that. Like somebody that's just so robotic. Like I couldn't have some, because it's like lower heart rate, not as stressed out, better, versus a guy that's like, oh, fuck, what if this kid dies? Like, they just need to be, like, you can't have, your thoughts need to be fully just on the operation rather than, like, oh, this is so sad, Like, oh, God, what if I mess up? Like, you can't get, you got to just be in the zone.
With the same level of empathy they'd use to fix a car. But hey.
I'd be scared to EpiPen myself. Nah, I could EpiPen myself. I think I could do like, okay, I'm not saying I think I could do surgery. I think if I had to be a surgeon, I'd be able to do like knee surgery. I have knee surgery next Thursday. Some shit like that. But like, I couldn't do like brain surgery. Something that could kill you. Fuck no.
Thank God for surgeons. One group of psychos I definitely don't thank God for: salespeople. Psychopaths love sales. It's the perfect storm of manipulation, charm, and reward. They mirror your tone, your body language, your beliefs, all to build trust they don't actually feel. It's just a game to them. They read you like a player at a poker table. They find your weakness, they exploit it, and they smile with a shit-eating grin while doing it. And once they close the deal, that dopamine hit isn't from helping you, it's from beating you. And the scary part is, they're good. Really good. They're expert social...
Some of them are, well, yeah, no, I think psychopaths are probably good salesmen. You ever see like a really shitty, you ever talk to a really shitty salesman before at like a car dealership or some shit? You're just like, yeah, this ain't for you, man. Could even be like a store, like a regular, like whatever they're working on commission, not a car necessarily, but like you're at like a supplement store or somewhere where they're like pitching you something and you're like, man, this is not for you. You are way too fucking awkward. You could tell when they're good at it when they're like, hey, how you doing? And they like kind of force it onto you in a sense where it's like, hey, do you want help with any? No, it's just like, hey, I see. What are you here for? Oh, protein? What kind of protein are you looking for? Actually, I was just wondering, like, what are your, like, goals in this? And they just start, like, you know, they open the door to that conversation.
Chameleons. They know
Insurance salesmen. Those guys are psychopaths.
Fake it till they make it. They combine their superficial charm with zero guilt or empathy, and the result is Jordan Belfort-like salespeople willing to say or do anything for their commission. Number 3 on the list are the people at least partly responsible for how
one of these is I think probably number 1 CEOs.
Up Western society has become in modern times. Media executives and journalists. If salespeople manipulate individuals, these pricks manipulate entire populations. The news industry used to be about truth. Now it's about
Twitter account holders.
Engagement. And engagement doesn't come from accuracy, it comes from outrage. Psychopaths love outrage. Remember, psychopaths have no empathy, no remorse, no guilt. They're pathological liars and they can be crazy ambitious. So in a world where attention is currency, they're willing to say or do anything to control.
Like propaganda pages, like if you work for like a news media outlet that just spews shit.
Your attention. Behind every breaking story is someone doing psychological calculus. How do we make people angry enough to click, scared enough to share, outraged enough to stay tuned? These people don't report the news anymore. They engineer it. And psychos love this kind of ecosystem because they don't have to pretend about caring for who gets hurt, who's defamed, or who loses everything. They're social predators who manipulate without remorse. Number 2 is lawyers. If there was ever a profession built to reward
Never even thought about that. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Like a defense lawyer. My client didn't kill this person. He literally did. It's on a security CCTV. Well, that's not him.
It's this one. You get paid to argue, manipulate emotions, and twist the truth until it fits your client's version of reality. And Kevin Dutton's research supports it. Lawyers have one of the highest rates of psychopathy in the world. They put their work
criminal defense lawyer.
Under the guise of the pursuit of justice, and yet they'll gladly defend murderers, rapists, and child molesters. Now, yes, I understand.
Well, yeah, no, he's going to say, yeah, there's a chance that they're innocent, so it's like not all of them are, but it's just like some cases that they take where it's like, dude, this guy's fucked.
In the argument, I'd rather defend a guilty person than have an innocent person sit in jail. I understand that everyone deserves legal representation to the best of their ability. But how?
No, I'm not blaming them for doing it, but I do understand why psychopaths are higher in that field.
How do some lawyers sleep at night knowing they've just defended a legitimate monster? Like, genuinely, how does the dream team...
That, or you could say the flip, where there's a lawyer that's prosecuting a guy that's like more seemingly innocent, and then they get him put away.
Who defended OJ, sit there knowing their client is guilty as fuck, and then just push that aside to get him acquitted. Pursuit of justice, my ass. It's the pursuit of winning. There's the thrill of deception, the allure of power and prestige, and permission to manipulate as long as you do it with...
Yeah, I have no idea what that fucking clip was, bro. That had nothing to do... Was that Speed? Who was that? That was like a WWE guy getting like fucking twerked on.
In the rules. And who wrote those rules? Other goddamn lawyers. Psychopaths write the rules for how psychopaths can defend...
That was Booker T. I couldn't see his face. Couldn't see his face. It was just all ass.
And other psychopaths. Amazing. Anyways, before diving into number 1, we've got a little bonus career where quite a few psychopaths are found. Want to take a guess? We'll say it together on 3.
CEOs.
1, 2, 3... Police officers. Now,
what? It's not. Oh wait, does CEO count as a job? I don't know if CEO is like CEO is just like you're a company owner of what? Cops are number 1.
Depending on which list you read, this one sometimes ranks even higher than lawyers, which ain't exactly surprising. See, the job attracts people who crave structure, hierarchy, and control. but for some, that control turns into power.
Oh, this isn't top one. This is a bonus.
Agreed, this one sometimes ranks even higher than lawyers, which ain't exactly surprising. See, the job attracts people who crave structure, hierarchy, and control. But for some, that control turns into power, and that power becomes pleasure. The badge gives authority, the uniform gives legitimacy, and the gun gives fear. Now, before the comment section turns into a war zone, no, not every cop is a psychopath. Many genuinely want to serve and protect, and thank God for them. I don't even want to imagine what society would be like without police. But here's the uncomfortable truth. If you have psychopathic traits, being a cop gives you a socially sanctioned way to act them out. You can intimidate, command, and control and still be applauded for it. Kevin Dutton calls it the mask of morality, when psychopathic behavior hides behind a noble mission. Speaking of which, that mask, especially in today's day and age, is often worn so much by the guys at number 1 on the list, CEOs.
Okay, I was gonna say it has to be.
To me, this one's straightforward as hell. You really think Peter Thiel is a normal human being? Then you've got those fake altruistic...
Oh, well, no, Peter Thiel knows about the Antichrist, so yeah, he has to be.
I'm just a good guy CEOs like Sam Altman. This guy's a 40-something-year-old tech founder from Silicon Valley, and yet he goes on the Joe Rogan Experience and acts like he doesn't know what kind of effect Coke has on people.
Is that something Coke makes people want to do? Seems to me like it just makes people like angry and chaotic.
That fake naivety...
Yeah, they always act dumb. Why do they always act dumb? Whenever they do an interview, it's like they try to act really stupid to seem like they're more like humble than they are. Like that's like billionaires in general. They'll like hop on something. They'll be like, oh no, like what, but they won't be like dumb in the sense of like, oh, how much is milk? They'll be like, oh really? I don't understand. What is that? Like the very basic concept everybody knows about. What do you mean? Oh, cocaine makes you more excited and like hyper? Oh, I've never done that.
That's
Bro, you're worth $1 billion. You're telling me you've never snorted coke before, buddy? Get out of here, pal. You're probably one of the only people that could get access straight to the fucking source. No fentanyl and that shit. I know you do it.
Exactly what psychopaths do. They disarm...
Literally dead ass. Like, if you're a billionaire, you're like one of the only people that could get access to like 1970s cocaine. Like, you could fucking go to Pablo Escobar himself and get him to give you some shit straight out of the mill.
You with sincerity they don't actually feel. It's all just a show to them. Studies have found that 1 in 5 corporate leaders show strong psychopathic traits.
He's in jail. Pablo Escobar's dead. You're talking about, oh my God, what is his name? Not El Mencho. El Mencho's also dead. Who's the guy in like a Colorado prison? El Chapo. Sorry, I was trying to look him up. Joaquin Guzman.
The same ratio as in prisons. Business at the highest level is war without bullets. You win by outsmarting, undercutting, or straight up swallowing the competition. And if you can do that without getting emotionally attached to people or consequences, you're rewarded with millions or even billions of dollars. The appeal to psychopaths is obvious. They're calm under pressure, can put on the fake charm when need be, they're utterly ruthless in negotiations, and they can fire a 1,000-person department without giving it a second's thought. And don't think you finance bros are off the hook. When psychologists collected this data, hedge fund managers and investment bankers were grouped in with the corporate execs. Superficial charm, inflated egos, no remorse, and manipulation to achieve their own ends. You're all little Patrick Batemans on the inside. So yeah, we like to think evil looks obvious. The serial killer, the dictator, the monster lurking in the dark. In reality, they're running...
The finance guy I talk to, bro, I love him. But I don't think he's a psychopath, but he's like cut and clean, bro. I talk to him, he'll ask me about like how my business is going, like social media in general. And he'll just be like, oh really, that's so interesting. Like 30 times in a conversation. Oh, really? Oh, really? That's so interesting. Tell me more. And I'll be like, yo, there's no way you're actually caring about this.
Companies hosting talk shows, writing laws.
Oh, really? Oh, really? Every time in that exact tone.
And cutting people up in all.
I love him, though. He's so interesting. And when he says that, I giggle every time.
In order to save their lives. Again, not everyone in these careers is a psychopath.
Oh, really? That's fascinating.
Obviously. But I've got almost 100k subscribers now. The statistics say around 1,000 to 4,000 of you are straight up psychos. I still love you all. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And
let's read the comments. How people make money is the name of the channel. As my cousin suggests some career options for me, and she said, wait, what? For me, and that jerk sent me this video. Oh my God. I almost misread that. Skipping words, not great. That's why I hang with engineers or blue collars in general. They just want to fix stuff. Bro's acting like every person in any category of that job is immediately a psychopath. It's like just a higher percentage. Politicians, medical field, it's full of them. Psychopaths are bred to run major corporations. Sheer lack of empathy that's required to lay off 5,000 people to a small town factory, go home later, sleep like a baby. Yeah. It's just shitty companies need to be like it's shitty companies are ran that way. But it's like big tier companies, you need a guy that's just like, yeah, I'll do that. Did technology wipe out serial killers? We were talking about that the other day. About how, not even with serial killers. Bro, murdering somebody today, not impossible, but really hard. Like, if you were alive in the 1800s, you could have just walked up to somebody, shot him in the face, and left. Not even hidden the body. You could have your fingerprints all... How do you know? Because there's cameras everywhere. And forensics. If you were alive in the... Bro, people always glaze, like, some serial killers that were alive in, like, the 1700s. I'm like, yeah... I don't even like that using the word term glazed because they were serial killers. But people will be like, they were so sneaky. So sneaky? If you were a serial killer in the 1700s, 1800s, you could walk up to somebody, stab them, walk away, have blood, piss, urine come anywhere over. They'd have no idea. If nobody saw the guy that killed him, they just go, I don't know, dude. It was dark outside. And then you move on.
Why did the so-called golden age of serial killers come to...
All right, I don't want to call it golden age of serial killers. Like we were in the Renaissance.
...such an abrupt end? Maybe because the world changed. Because the net closed in. Because cameras went up, databases went live, phones started ringing 3 digits instead of 10, 911. And the internet connected everything. See, the monsters didn't stop. The world stopped letting them move. Did technology kill?
There's still serial killers that exist. I'm pretty sure the U.S. has like an estimated... Yeah, the U.S. estimated at... The FBI has previously estimated as many as 500 serial killers are active in the United States. More accurate sources suggest a limited number of 20 to 25 or 20 to 50 active serial killers at any given moment. There's serial killers active. But it's like... not as many as there were back then.
The serial killer? Welcome to Breakfast Cereal. My name's Josh. If you've been following along, you know I've been building a series asking, where did all the serial killers go? What killed the so-called golden age of serial killers? You know, that strange, terrifying stretch in the 70s and 80s when it felt like Kemper, Berkowitz, and Ramirez were everywhere all at once.
I feel like that was because in the 70s and 80s, serial killers had the maximal amount of technology and things at their hands that they could use to kill and use other people. But that technology wasn't advanced enough yet to go against them, right? Like they had fast cars, they had phones, they had stuff, but tracking and knowing and being able to use that against people that were committing crimes with them was not possible. Or hard.
So far, I've tackled lead poisoning, DNA, long-haul trucking, even the controversial idea that serial killers just evolved into mass shooters. If you're new here, hit subscribe, check out the backlog, and...
Really? I feel like there is a difference between mass shooters and serial killers. Not in like in a moral sense, it's both terrible, but I'm saying like the motivation between somebody being a mass shooter and a serial killer, I feel like one is wanting to just watch the world burn and like borderline like anarchy sociopath shit. The other serial killing is more like they like the chase. They like the idea of getting away with it. Mass killers aren't trying to get away with it. Like they're just going in, killing people, and then either shooting themselves or getting taken down.
Because honestly, that's where half of the real conversation happens. There are thousands of theories down there in some cases, and I love reading through.
How many murders have you passed in your life? I think that's a statistic. it varies by person, but how many murderers does the average person walk past in their life? The average person unknowingly crosses paths with 16 to 36 murderers. But, like, that depends on your, like, where you are, who you are. Like, if you live in New York City, it's probably higher.
Through them. But today...
Like, if you live in fucking rural Wyoming, you might never encounter a murderer.
I want to zoom out a little wider. I want to talk about technology in the big sense. The stuff that turned the late 20th century into the early 21st. Not just DNA, but everything else. Let's start with this chart, because you know I love a good chart. And if you've been around here for a little while, this...
Serial killings have flatlined?
Because you know I love a good chart.
There's no way it's at 0. 0. But in 1980, it was 100 people.
And if you've been around here for a little while, this chart is starting to look very, very familiar. Serial killing.
Do you think the average person in the U.S. in the 80s was like, a woman was like genuinely fearful of... I know women today don't like feel safe, obviously, at night in like a dark alley or like situations where they could be vulnerable. But I'm saying, do you think it was like a daily thought for an average woman in the 80s in like a big city to be like, like this guy might actually be a serial killer?
In early 80s, spiking way above anything seen before. Then, suddenly, by like mid 90s, downhill, a sharp decline. By the 2000s, the line is flat. I mean, barely a shadow of its former self. Now, overlay another line, technological adoption. Home computers, cell phones, surveillance cameras, national crime databases, the spread of 911 systems, the internet.
Yeah, it's not even just like cameras and surveillance. It's like tracking, bro. The evidence of like, even if you're good at hiding prints and you are able to hide yourself and hide the body, the police are going to know where and when you took this person because everybody has a phone on them and all phones have trackers. And they're able to tap into that and see where and when you were and where you disappeared, when you disappeared, where the phone went. Like, you can't hide your trail.
And those two lucky ATMs with of 911 systems, the internet. The rise of caller ID, ATMs with cameras, even store security systems. And those two lines, look, they almost cross like an X. As the killers drop, tech rises. Coincidence? As we see again, maybe. But again, hard to ignore the timing. When I first started looking at this, it reminded me of my own hometown, actually, when we first started installing its first set of traffic cameras. People complained like crazy. It's like, oh, Big Brother's watching. They said it was pointless. But guess what happened? Car accidents at that intersection where they put in the first ones dropped by like almost half. I mean, not because people suddenly cared about safety, but because they knew they were being watched. Now, imagine being a predator.
I feel like traffic cameras, though, like, I don't think people were upset more with traffic cameras for the effect of like, oh, Big Brother. I think it's more like, damn, I ran a stoplight and it just took a picture of my plate. Is that more agreeable? I feel like that's more what people are annoyed with. Nobody cares about a traffic camera, like, recording info. It's when they use that to give you a ticket because you ran a yellow and it hit red, and now you're getting charged, you know, fucking hundreds of dollars. You got points on your license. You're going to be like, oh, this sucks. You know, that's what people are upset about.
Knew they were being watched. Now, imagine being a predator in 1977. No cameras, no databases, no caller ID. It was like the wild...
No fucking street lights! That's another thing. You could stab somebody right out in the open. There were no lights anywhere. Yes, there were street lights. They existed, but they were more far and few between. In the 70s, used a lot of other random shit. And when you had that, there was no need to be like, what if somebody sees me? Because it's fucking pitch black everywhere.
NCIC, National Crime Information Center, went live in 1967. but it really came into its own in the 80s and 90s.
The National Crime Information Center is a computerized system serving all law enforcement agencies, local, state, and federal.
You could think of it as like a giant digital filing cabinet for law enforcement across the U.S. It stores everything. Criminal records.
Oh my God.
Stolen
What, so if you're a serial killer that's moving across multiple states, it's easier for county and city police to also get roped in on it and find out things about you rather than it just being some high-grade CIA type shit, FBI. They're looking into a guy that's like cross-country killing people as a trucker. Now they could just see that.
warrants, fingerprints. Suddenly, you got a cop in Nebraska could type in a license plate and know instantly if it was connected to a crime in Arizona. I mean, that was revolutionary. Then came VICAP, the Violent Criminal Apprehension Program, launched by the FBI in 1985. VICAP was designed specifically with serial offenders in mind. It's a database that tracks the details of violent crimes, methods, victim types, crime scene signatures, and it looks for patterns across jurisdictions. So if a strangulation in Kansas looked eerily similar to one in Oklahoma, VICAP could flag it. Before that, those cases would have lived and died in separate filing cabinets. I mean, that...
I still think there's serial killers that exist today. It's just like, I don't want to say it's like more low profile, but like, bro, like Ted Bundy and John Wayne Gacy, bro, they'd be killing people like every other month. Like, it would be nonstop. I feel like serial killers now, they'll kill a guy, wait 5 years, kill a guy, and then that's not showing up, right? Like, they're still a serial killer. They still have a profile of an individual that they're tracking down. They've been doing this their whole life. They wait for it. But they're like separating it to a point where it's not showing up of like, oh, this seems like a pattern because it's so spaced out.
That seems absolutely huge, don't you think? I mean, even if it wasn't perfect, and VICAP especially struggled in the early years because not every department was using it properly or reporting it. It was the beginning of a net, though. A net that got tighter every single year. Let's talk about cameras. In the 70s, you could walk down a street, grab someone, shove them into a car, and unless somebody physically saw you with their own 2 eyes...
Yo, and even if they did, you wear a mask. All right, so what do you have info on the suspect? I don't know, man. He was wearing a mask and gloves. I don't even know what skin color he was. He was like this tall. He was driving a car. About useless ass information. Nobody helping you.
You were invisible. Surveillance cameras were incredibly rare. Grainy if they were there and just local. By the late 90s, though, suddenly cameras are everywhere. So look at Israel Keys. He thought he was smarter than the system. He planned meticulously, stashed kill kits across states, went to extraordinary lengths to beat the system and go undetected. But when he abducted Samantha Koenig in 2012, cameras began closing the circle almost immediately. An ATM camera caught him withdrawing money from her account. Gas station cameras picked up the car he was driving. Each frame, each timestamp, stitched together his trail.
Bro, that's why I really think, like, I don't want to say most, but I would feel like most or a lot of modern serial killers have to be either lawyers or, like, in law enforcement or tech. Because they have to know everything. Like, I really think it would be like Dexter. Like, that's the only way that... because how do you just know this information? Because you would be, like, Googling stuff that would put you on a fucking watch list. Like, if you were actually trying to plan out, like, how to kill someone, you would just have to know it. Like, there would have to be a reason.
In another era, he probably would have slipped through. So here's where I think about my own childhood again. I grew up in the 90s, so when the first camcorders were becoming a little more common, my friend's mom had one of these giant ones, you know, it was like this big. It basically had a VCR attached to it. She'd bring it to our baseball games, and it looked like a news crew was showing up. But by the time I was in high school, cameras, they were getting smaller. We had digital cameras, right? Like those Canon Power Shots and stuff. And then
now, bro, now it's like, yo, now they got the meta glasses, bro. You ain't even know somebody's recording. You're a serial killer trying to like lure a guy and kill him, and he's like, hey, buddy, got the metas. Got the meta. Actually, I'm live on Twitch. Actually, I'm live on Twitch right now.
2 years later, of course, phones. I can't even imagine being able to do something violent in public and not ending up on like a dozen lenses at this point. See, serial killers are predators of opportunity. Take away anonymity, and you're taking away half their hunting ground. It's easy to forget how revolutionary the 911 system was. I assumed it had been around like practically forever.
Yeah, I'm going to ask a mad stupid question right now. When did that exist? Did they just not have that before? Obviously, like way back, no, but even in like the 60s, you couldn't just call for help on like a landline.
Pretty shocked when researching for this very episode to learn that nationwide adoption of 911, that didn't even start until the 80s. And it was
What? So what would you do in like the 50s? Just fucking deal with it? Nothing? Somebody just has a heart attack, you're like, oh, I guess I gotta drive you to the hospital or you're dead.
It wasn't even until the mid-90s that it was like standard. Before that, you had to find a landline, know the number for the local police, and like pray to God and hope that they picked up. That's fucking wild. Oh, he's having a heart attack. Quick, somebody call 55.
Quick, somebody call a 12-digit phone number and then wait on the line for the person to connect you. By the time they even answer, he'll be dead.
557372768. Like, Jesus. Now add caller ID. Before the 90s, a guy like BTK could torment the police and victims' families even. Endless anonymous phone calls. Technology finally broke that tool too. I mean, imagine a serial killer somehow missed that memo. Like, imagine BTK. Hello, this is BTK calling. Says here this is Dennis Rader. Oh shit. Hey, well, I got you. You know if it's possible by chance to trace a floppy disk? I mean, that's kind of funny, but it's literally how it went down, idiot. He asked the police through a newspaper personal ad, which is how they were kind of communicating.
He asked the police if they could track floppy disks?
If it was possible to trace a floppy disk. Obviously, the police responded with, no, of course not. No.
What is, okay, I know floppy disk is like an early version of a CD, but what do they mean track a floppy disk? Like track the info on it or like trace it back to him if they got the floppy disk?
Oh, dumb old Dennis sends a floppy disk to the police. Metadata.
Why would he just send them a fucking floppy disk?
Immediately traced it back to a computer at Dennis's church. And speaking of computers, the internet changed everything. Not just for killers, but for victims too. In the 70s, if someone went missing, word traveled very slowly. Posters on telephone poles. You've seen it on movies and TV, but for real, posters on telephone poles. I mean, local news. Maybe
milk carton shit, dude. Some kid goes missing, somebody goes missing. Dude, I'll even see that, like, you'll see that in cities today. Like, somebody's dog went missing, they'll be like, reward. And I'm always like, I'll keep an eye out, but I'm not going to remember the fucking phone number. So then if you find the dog, you have to find the pole that had the picture on it so you could call the number and be like, I have your dog. I feel bad, but I'm like, it's so inefficient of like, hey, this German Shepherd is missing. If you find it, call us. Like, I'm not going to save the number.
a missing persons alert can go viral in hours.
Yeah, but then you have their collar, and you don't even, it might have it on their collar. That's true. But then at that point, then what's the missing posters for? Just so people keep their eyes out?
Shared across the globe, entire communities mobilized on.
Oh, I feel like Amber Alert. Dude, we didn't even talk about that. Amber Alert definitely fucked over serial killers too, man. Amber Alert, I always see those and I'm like, damn, what if you see that person, bro? Amber Alert. 6'3" man in all red. You look out your apartment window, he's just right there. I would think that I'm not actually experiencing this, and I would be like, okay, I don't want to false report this, but that is eerily similar to what I just saw.
Online. I mean, look at Luca Magnotta. See, he wanted to be infamous, and he used the internet as his stage. Before he ever killed a person, he posted disturbing videos online of animal cruelty. Entire internet communities spotted the clips, debated whether they were real, and started trying to track him down. So when he murders Jun Lin in 2012, he filmed it, uploaded the footage, and then fled the country. And here's where the internet really showed its power. Interpol alerts went out, news stories raced ahead of him, and thousands of strangers on the internet picked up the trail. So if you've ever seen the Netflix documentary, this one, Don't Fuck with Cats, you know the story. A handful of amateur sleuths on Facebook went full.
Just found him in a different country? How the fuck did they do that? They like tracked his airplane?
They froze frames, analyzed the backgrounds, tracked.
Oh my God, like some GeoGuessr shit. Oh my God. Like he takes a video of himself somewhere on like a street and they're like, I know where this is.
Down items in the room, even tried to triangulate his location based on things like the style of electrical outlets. See, for better or worse, the internet made it possible for the average person to play detective. And it's not always a good thing. Vigilante internet investigators can easily misidentify people, ruin innocent lives even. But
yeah.
In Magnotta's case, it created a pressure cooker. He couldn't move without someone online trying to pin him down. He was finally caught by technology and his own vanity. He went into an internet cafe in Berlin, logged online to read stories. What do you think he was reading about? Himself. The clerk recognized him, called the police, and the net snapped shut.
Wow.
Now, here's the pushback.
In fucking Berlin, he kills somebody in the U.S., flees to Europe, and somebody's like, I know this guy. I've never even heard of that dude before. Have you guys heard of him? He was just like fucking killing cats on like Live Leak or something, and then he murdered somebody and filmed it.
He killed the serial killer. Why do we still see cases pop up? Why do we still uncover guys like Samuel Little, who confessed to killing 90 women over decades? Seems to me that maybe some killers adapted. They targeted the most vulnerable, the homeless, sex workers, addicts. People society still tends to overlook. Even with tech, if nobody cares enough to look for the victim, the predator.
That is very true. That's what people always say about like how if somebody gets murdered and they're from like a wealthier family, the police or that city will try harder, which is like fucked. But it's like, dude, if you kill like a homeless crackhead, I'm not gonna say nobody, but like the odds of somebody looking for you are a lot less than if you kill somebody of like prominent positioning in a school or a city or a town, you know.
Can slip through. So maybe it's not that technology ended serial killers entirely. Maybe it's just made the game harder. The careers that used to last decades now burn out in 1 or 2 murders. And that brings me to the bigger question. Did technology really kill the serial killer, or did it just change the shape of the shadows? Because every time we build a new wall, predators find a crack. DNA, database.
What, so he's saying maybe there are serial killers out right now, but nobody's connecting the dots yet because they're doing it in a different way?
Bases, cameras. They close doors, but human darkness doesn't just vanish. It adapts. And maybe the scariest thought is this. For all the progress we've made, are we just fooling ourselves? Is safety real? Or is it just another illusion until the next predator figures out how to beat the system? What do you think? Did technology end the golden age of serial killers? Or
I don't think it okay, golden age maybe. I don't think it gets rid of serial killers. I don't think you would ever be able to get rid of serial killers. But I think it's a lot harder to be a serial killer now than it used to be. But yes, I also like I've completely forgot about like the homeless thing. Like I wouldn't be surprised if there's like a serial killer that goes to like Skid Row and just murders people and then leaves. Right? Because that's already such a huge homeless population. Nobody's looking into that. People die all the time there and there's barely any investigations. So it's like in instances like that, I could really see like people like jumping around from like Kensington to Skid Row to like fucking areas where there's just a lot of homeless people or people that are kind of off the books in terms of like, you know, income, society, jobs, connections. So when they died, nobody even finds out until months later. And then it's like, well, you know, they probably got murdered by another homeless guy and they don't really look into it. And so it's like, there's probably serial killers that do that. But it's like, even then, now their options are more limited. It's not as easy for them to be like luring people at a bar and then like bringing them back and trying to turn them into zombies like Jeffrey Dahmer would. It's not that serial killers are drops. It's police departments, state AGs are afraid to label anything until after the fact comes out. Yeah. Oh, because they don't want to like worry the public or something and be like, we think this is a serial killer. It's like the Fermi paradox all explains the combined, cutting down the numbers until they're tiny. I don't know. There could be a serial killer in chat. Yeah. More likely like just a murderer, not a serial killer. Like serial killers are far and few between. But murderers are more common. Still uncommon to the regular population, but